What is up, Casey? How are you doing?
What's up, Matt? I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's Friday. Happy to be here, and sounds like we got a lot to talk about.
We happen to have a lot to talk about, even though it's been a weird, slow news week. But I think there's news like underground news.
Oh yeah, and then too with kind of all the Trump stuff that's going on,
Hmm.
with the announcement of Tucker Carlson and the
Right.
GOP. It's been bonkers, and with everything going on in Maui still. So I've been
Yeah.
trying to keep up as much as I could with trying to juggle my own content versus also stay on top of what's going on. So I may need to lean on you a little bit for info, but yes, I am happy to get back to our Friday streams because I missed last week. Thank you for holding it
Yeah.
down.
I missed
And
y'all too because I think like it's like after the stream, it was a little blow to my ego because after the stream, two people, it looked like we lost two subscribers. And I know YouTube does this weird subscriber scrub
oh
thing, but I was
yeah,
like, what the hell?
I wouldn't even worry about it. Let's see, we got Cindy in the house. What's up, Cindy? Hope you're doing
Yes,
well. And we got
it's me. Yes,
GR
we
here.
are.
What's up, man? How's it going? Hope
What's up,
everyone's having
Jar?
a good Friday. Glad the weekend's here. But yeah, so what do you want to start with, Casey? Like I said, I think we have a lot of news that we could talk about. We could do the Trump stuff, or we can go into really whatever at this point.
I mean, there is so much. So why don't we, the Maui situation, I keep here. Do you know like a lot about it, or do you want to like talk about it just for like a little bit?
Oh,
Because
I know a lot. This is one thing that because listen, I love going down the conspiracy rabbit hole, and this has been a huge topic, and I think a lot of people are not aware of the actual facts and just the amount of things you keep learning about. Especially, listen, I know a lot of people take a shit on Twitter, right? Because it is a
Mhm.
giant cesspool. But we learn a lot of information that
Yep.
we wouldn't normally see on Twitter. So that is the only positive. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff that's coming out of Maui is insane. Like
Yep.
it's really crazy, frustrating, and not really surprising if you've had your eyes open. But if you haven't had your eyes open, you're like, oh my God, how can this be happening? So what do you know
Right.
about it as of right now?
So like cuz I've been listening to my sources. I go to very credible sources that they do the research and they don't just say things just to say things, right? They've been doing this for a while and nothing is definitive. And we have to be careful how we talk about it on YouTube because there's
Yeah.
catch up. Yeah. Yep. It's funny because this is definitely, especially when it comes to like climate change, we have to really be careful because now they're starting to become sticklers over this story.
hmm
And it's crazy. But we'll say like for me, nothing is definitive. Like even the media saying like, well, it's because of climate change, the grass was dry and then the fire started and then the wind blew so fast that all of a sudden, it took over that fast, right? But that's really not the official like reason for why this happened. There is no official reason. And which tells you that the official reason we're just not going to know. There's people who have showed like talked about direct, I don't even want to say the word, but like direct use of force, if you will.
DEPs, yeah,
Yeah.
or
So
or DEWs, sorry.
and how there's bases there for that. So and it was clear information. Hawaii is supposed to be like having, they're supposed to have this summit, this new
September.
yes,
Yep.
because they're going to be like the island of AI, right? And
Mhm.
the background of even the island itself, of course, now I have to go into like, how do we acquire Hawaii? And it sounds like to me some regime change, something happened like we usually do, but they must have been doing it back then. But the land itself, you have a lot of people who own that land because it's been passed down from their families for generations. And when they were coming to like try to buy the land from them, from what I'm hearing, reports are saying that the people were saying like, no, like this is our land. Like we're not going to sell our land to investment firm companies and things like that. And but now you know.
Yeah, so I actually have this article or this post from I'm never going to call it X, by the way. It's always going to be Twitter for
Yeah,
me.
it's Twitter. Yeah, I'm done with change. Yeah. Like,
But, so I want to share this really quick because I think this is very, very important. Like I said, I don't know if it's a DEW or if it was a bunch of Antifa running around with torches. I have no idea. At the end of the day, there's no way that this was just Mother Nature, in my opinion. The devastation that's happened. If you see, I know there's been a giant media blackout now. They don't want like no drones, no nothing. They only want certain areas covered with the devastation. So again, even if you're speculatory of all that stuff and how it happened, even say if you want to say you guys are just being crazy, it was a natural disaster, whatever. Fine, sure, but this type of stuff, though, is what really makes me go down the rabbit hole of issues here. So let me zoom into this real quick if I can. And it's Efrat here, as I guess says how you say her name, but it says, remember, build back better. Picture gets clearer after reading this. Quote, the government of Hawaii states the goal of rebuild is to make the entire island of Maui the first smart island. They want the entire island governed by AI as outlined in the Hawaii Digital Government Summit of 2023 that they had planned to host next month, September 25th. So they already had that planned. Here's the link. So this is not just us crazy YouTubers talking about this. There's an actual link right there. More documents that Twitter is censoring because Twitter is not your friend. It's still just as worse than ever.
You just do the best you can on any platform at this point.
Oh, and honestly, they've already said that the censorship in Twitter is going to be through the roof coming election season. So, yeah. But it says last January of 2023, there was a smart city conference in Maui to turn Maui into an entire smart city island, pushing everything electric and making 15-minute smart cities. Where did we hear that before? Agenda 2030. Lastly, there was a contract last year that was signed to build high-rise condos and businesses in Lahania, which is, or I think I said that right, but that's where the majority of the devastation happened, which was the historical town that they couldn't have any new development done to it, but now they can because of this natural, well, quote unquote, natural disaster. So go ahead.
No, I'm just saying exactly like that's what I was saying, but I've been hearing it's like they've been trying to build high-rise condos and the people of the land were like, no, this is our territory. Like I own this. My family owns this particular acres of land here, you know?
Grave Reviews asks, when you see pictures of the houses burnt by the surrounding trees still intact, are those photos real or doctored? I honestly don't know. If you see, like I saw, there's a bunch of videos. I could actually pull one up here in just a second. I mean, it's crazy that they have like there's aluminum off card, like their actual like aluminum rims on the cars completely melted. Like you could see the streaks of melted aluminum rolling into the street from where the car was in a driveway, but trees were fine. So a lot of people are saying that the people that are experts in this that I've seen or that know more about it, rather, again, it's online, so who knows, that's what you would receive from like an actual like somewhat blast or those what's it called? DEWs. That's what it's called. I got to watch what I say on here.
And we got to find we can't even say D. We're going to have to say MEWs or something because I'm telling you, they are going to get crazy about this. Like it's insane.
So I want to pull up, I'm going to stop sharing that real quick to go through my bookmarks.
While you're pulling that up, let me just say, for me, in 2012, there was a big earthquake in Haiti, right? Now, I'm Haitian descent. I'm natural born American. So, I'm always like America first. But I'm my parents were born in Haiti. Okay. So when that earthquake happened, like me and my brother from the rip, we were like, something just doesn't feel right about this. It just doesn't, but whatever. But I also wasn't this person that I am today. And I want you to know, so they had to rebuild Haiti, right? And there's always a slogan, there's always like, oh, we're gonna da da da. The slogan for rebuilding Haiti was "Build Back Better." Okay.
Yeah,
And
shocker.
that yeah, it was on God. And so when I looked at the Build Back Better Inflation Reduction Act, when it was the Build Back Better bill, right? I had
Mhm.
pulled the bill up. I talked about it on my channel and everything. I pulled the bill up. I started looking through it. I'm like, this is Haiti 2.0. Like they're gonna use, and I'm getting somewhere with this. They're gonna use a bunch of fake resources to build America with infrastructure that is weak. Instead of using regular wood, they wanted to make a certain kind of synthetic wood that is carbon friendly, all that crap. For real, for real. Okay. So now when I thought about it, I said, what this Build Back Better really is investing a transfer of wealth, right? Just like they went to Haiti and they build back better, right? They built two houses, but they certainly made billions of dollars, right?
Mhm.
So I see it happening. But then when this Blaze, the way everything looks afterwards, and some of it, I'm like, is it doctored for they're letting us see this? But that doesn't mean that it's still not devastating, like some of it, I'm wondering, like, how it doesn't make sense because the street is still like you even looking at it right here, the street is still intact though.
Yeah.
Wouldn't the road itself do something? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why a lot of people are like, "How is this like logically? How is this possible?" Look at the devastation that you're seeing. Like, you would it literally looks like a bomb went off. It doesn't look like a
Mm,
fire was
that's
sitting
what I'm
there on the
saying.
pavement
This is
boiling anything. It looks like it was quick. It was fast. It was like an explosion or something. Not saying that there
yeah.
was. I'm just saying, just look at that. Like, I have never seen a natural fire disaster do anything like that. And again, I may be wrong. Maybe it was. I don't know. But the questions that surround this isn't really so much. It is the devastation because honestly, too, if you think about it, all of the very rich areas of Maui, like the Oprah's houses, Obama's house, all the
Yeah,
celebrities, none of them got touched. None of them even
right.
were affected in any way, shape, or form magically, right? Isn't that such a coincidence?
It's just a lot of it is just like it's weird. So that's the other thing. So I'm gonna give it first. Let me give a shout out to Devil Die Elvis, Cindy, Hypnot. You did give Cindy a shout out, Hypnotic and Flaccid and Grave Reviews, everybody. All right, but anyway, so uh so yeah, that's what I'm saying. So Matt, I cannot see this and yes, GR. Yes, if you want to pull up GR's comment there, like how am I? Come on, man. How long am I supposed to pretend like I'm not seeing what I'm seeing? Okay. And then to know that they have an agenda, like they have, there is an agenda. This is not a question. This is not some theory that you can look it up. There is an agenda. And what we also need to remember too, I have to go look up the state. What is it, Nebraska? You might know this too, yo. Where that particular state, 93% of the land is owned by private citizens, by farmers. And
Oh, yeah. I've
actually,
heard of it. I don't remember the
yeah, they're
state.
actually in a back and forth with the government too, because all right, so what the government is trying to do with this 2030 agenda, with all of this carbon friendly, they're calling it conservation, and they want to conserve 30% of the land, right? And so when they say they want to conserve 30% of the land is because we're so bad with how we use our carbon, because we drive cars and we use hairspray. I've been hearing this stuff all my life, but anyway, that we're making the land so dry. It's us making the land so dry. So what they're doing is really they're burning down trees and woods and stuff, right? And they're killing animals too. They are doing this. I did a whole video
Oh,
about this.
yeah.
Like massive animals, like they go in and purposely kill falcons, bears, wolves, all that. So, but they want these people's land. And so now I'm wondering, what is the natural disaster that might come from? Listen, after 2020, I cannot pretend anymore. I just can't. I'm not saying I know the definitive answers. And then, remember the alarms didn't go off, right? They didn't get what they got text messages, but the system wasn't working because
Yeah.
everything was out.
The
And then the
system,
sirens didn't go off.
the natural, like the disaster systems that were put in place for this type of stuff didn't go off. None of the sirens went off. the chief of police of Maui or of this area is the same, not chief, but the same commander that was in charge of the Las Vegas shootings.
Yeah.
How coincidental is that?
Yeah.
You also have, let's see, this video here I'm going to pull up. The insurance companies are not paying out residents for what happened.
Can you imagine?
The insurance companies are now telling Maui residents they have zoning infractions on their land and they will not be paying out. So now they cannot. And what's the purpose of that, right? Well, if the insurance companies are not giving them their money, they can't rebuild there. So now they just have land and they can't do anything with it.
And so
that allows these Black Rocks and these other companies to come in, try to sell to them or buy it from them cheap, and then they now own the property, which is what they're trying to do. So I'm going to play this clip real quick.
Not that long ago.
Can you guys hear that?
I can.
Okay.
Hawaiian government officials in the areas that were just affected by the wildfires passed a law saying that that land could not be redistricted for new building permits unless some sort or some type of a serious natural disaster occurred. Serious natural disaster occurred. And what did we have happen through those 3 districts of very sacred land to the Hawaiians? A very serious natural disaster. I'm not going to get into space lasers and all of that shit, but people called their insurance companies after the fire, and the insurance companies, for the first time, informed them that there was zoning infractions on their land, so they would not honor their insurance policies. And within 24 hours of these people losing their homes, the same developers who the Hawaiian elders fought in court to have that law passed are already calling these people and making them offers for their homes. This is what happens when the government sticks their fingers in everything. The government's in the insurance industry. They're talking to people who are paying for their campaigns, which are the buyers of this land. And they say to these people, hey, let us know when they call you to get their insurance claims, and let us know when you deny them, so we can then give them a call right away and scoop in and swoop in and be the heroes.
And now that's a great point, because we've seen this time and time again with the government. They work with, so the government can't, and they're bound by law, right? They can't do certain things, right? So we've seen that time before. They'll work with Chase Bank to eliminate your banking account. They will work with these companies that want to obviously be on good standing terms with the government, because they're the government. They're the biggest mafia in the world. So they're going to play nice with them. So they do all of the strong arming for them. And with the insurance companies, sorry, you found an infraction. We can't save your house.
Oh my God.
Tough shit. Sorry.
Yo, man, this is heartbreaking. Like, I feel some like sad for these people, because no matter what, and yes, I definitely am, agreeing with Devil Died Elvis here.
But 100% agree.
Yeah, because this is terrible, right? Like, can you imagine? Like, I don't even, dog, and they don't care, bro. Like, they are like, I don't want to. The only reason why I am trying to put a little bit of a guard on how I speak is not even, well, definitely because censorship and all, but it can get you so emotional that you start to sound hysterical, even though you're saying things that are making sense. Okay. We saw 2020. Yo, they said, shut down your. I could not believe what country I was living in, right? I'll never forget that. They said, shut down your business. It felt weird, Matt. I was like, well, for what?
Yeah.
For a cough? That's not how you kill a virus. So coming to this, like, there's not, there's nothing they won't do. Who's they? The establishment, like the globalists. Yes, this is real. Come on. They do this in other countries. And
they do it. Yeah. And that's the thing, right? I mean, and not to get down the rabbit hole either, but that lovely day that happened in September, all those years ago, you can't sit there and you question that. And it's like, well, come on. No, I mean, if the government will do anything. The government is they are not your friends. That's the best way that I can put it.
Like,
they're not your friend.
This is why Bring the Asteroid is going to, once we're in the summer season and everything, but we're gonna get things rolled out. But we do need to have like a newsletter where we can actually reach out to people and write down exactly what we're saying with the facts to back it up. This isn't just I feel like they aren't my friends. No, here's why.
Yeah.
Okay, here's what came out of 9/11 Patriot Act. Your life was
Now-
never the same after.
Here's another beautiful thing. Well, not beautiful, but another piece of the puzzle when it comes to the Maui stuff. So here's another. I'm going to zoom out of this a little bit because it doesn't need to be that zoomed in. If I can figure it out. All right, I boomed it. So this is another video where even the people that survived and their homes were intact. Like not everyone's crazy. The fire didn't hit everybody, right?
Right.
Some people's places actually worked out. But now they're saying they're even sending them eviction notices, even the houses that survived. So I'm going to play this for you guys real quick so you can see how that's going.
Someone please debunk me. You can actually evict the Maui wildfire survivors? Like, tell me you're joking.
Do not give up Maui. Do not let them take your land. I just saw this morning, just now on TikTok, they are giving eviction notices to people whose houses didn't burn down.
No fucking way. Like, I wasn't in the conspiracy camp where, like, space lasers caused the Hawaiian wildfires on purpose, but I sure shit knew BlackRock, Vanguard, and other bankers weren't going to give up a fight.
Yeah, he's got music in there, so I'm trying to stop. I don't want to get hit with
I know what you
copyright.
mean. Yeah, next thing you know.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, maybe this is just a one-off, right?
This Lahaina shit is insane. I have a friend who...
So that's, again, I don't want to play it too much because of music, but this is an eviction notice that someone who wasn't attacked, like their property was fine. They didn't get hit with nothing, right? They got served with an eviction notice, like you have 45 days to leave, even though they're everything about their residence is fine. Tell me how that's even possible. And I did also hear other reports too of other posts. I don't have them bookmarked, but other people on here saying that during the fires, when people were trying to put out the fires, the water was shut off. All the people that were in charge of the island that were supposed to be were not there. They were absent. And they weren't around while this was all going on. Do you remember, again, referencing the day of back in September, the owner of that building just happened to not go to work that day? A lot of people just happened not to go to work.
Yeah, there was a lot of people who just
the owners conveniently just had insurance put on it like a month before. Like all this stuff, man. It's like, when is it not a conspiracy? When is it just considered like wake up? And it's common sense of what's going on. Like how, I don't know. I mean, I don't have that many great coincidental things happen to me back to back to back to back to back,
Okay. That you can take advantage of and say, well, we'll never let a good crisis go to waste that just happen to fall in our laps. Right. But the thing is, like, here's the thing. I'm going to keep, I don't use the word conspiracy theory anymore. I really don't. I don't. If anything, I'll say, I've heard a report that I don't have the information on yet. I don't like the term conspiracy theory because people don't get it. A conspiracy, the term itself isn't bad, right? Okay, it's something that's conspired against people, and there's a theory that this might be true. But the fact is, when people hear those two words, they automatically think crazy. No, it's not crazy. So because I'm at the point now where when you just, and now they're so brazen with it, though. You just have to scratch a little bit of the surface, and you already start to get the answers, not necessarily that you were looking for, but you already start to get the mess. Like, wait a second, this isn't adding up. That's it.
And the whole point is they know that they've gotten so brazen. They kind of almost have to with what happened with our last president and that cycle, right? Because the veil has come off. They had to reveal everything to make this happen, right? So now everyone's more speculatory than ever. And now going into the next election, it's only going to get worse. We see that with the indictments and everything, because what's the whole purpose of that? We all know that. And this will be a good segue to get into that. It's to keep him off the ticket. And that's why when he said, did you hear the other day where he was like, everybody should drop out right now?
I didn't hear him say it the other day, but I've heard him say before, and I don't see that as an issue. But yeah, go ahead though. What happened?
Well, so just ever since the Georgia indictment, I believe is he said, you know what? Everybody right now running for the Republican Party should drop off and they should just nominate Trump immediately. Because if they were to do that, then, and if they still indict him and arrest him and they take him off the ticket because of that, that would blow the world up, right? If you still have other people running and they indict him and then they're going to say, well, you can't vote for a felon. So sorry. But
right.
that's how you would strong arm them and beat them at their own game, which is, I think, why he said that. But they're never going to do that because half of them are they're all corrupt
by
in the same team.
Yes.
Yeah. All same team.
And we can segue into that, but just to not even wrap up this Maui situation. I don't want to seem like, okay, we're just going to wrap it up. I mean, we are moving on to another topic, but what I'm saying is that we've only seen the beginning with this. I suggest people really wake up, okay? Because we cannot keep trying to, like, I was talking to this other young lady that I work with, and, she's a nice girl, and I get it, man. Listen, I understand that you don't want to believe that people could be that mean, but the fact is, forget it, evil, okay? But it happens in other countries. You dig? Like there are coups that are organized. There are situations that are organized, okay? And I'm not going to sit here and stop asking questions just so I can be, quote, politically correct. I'm never doing that again, okay? Because before 2020, after 2020, I realized that there was so much going on in the world that I didn't know about because I wasn't paying attention. So now you see it and you can connect the dots. And all of this is not just some big just some coincidence, okay? And these people are being treated so bad. And that lady crying, normally I would say like, she's just doing that for attention. I understand how she feels because I almost feel like I want to cry for these people. Like, I don't know. And so now, but wait, where's this?
So I just found this post. This is the rich area of Maui where it says, funny, this climate change was so smart, it stopped exactly where the rich homes are. And you could see
and when you
all the built homes in the back, or everything burning in the back, but it stopped right at this area. And it was just magically, they're just not affected.
And not affected. And then when you see the actual blaze itself, it's very patterned. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I just never seen wildfires do circles and come on, man. Like, stop this.
Yeah,
man.
I did see that too. You're right.
What's up, Candeezy? Thank you for coming.
I did see like circle patterns of flames, like direct circles. It's very strange.
It's insane. And then to talk about presidents, you have this bozo, and I am holding back because I believe in God, but the words that I have for Joe Biden, he refuses to talk about this. Like when they're like, oh, you want to talk about the Maui thing? No comment. Then the dummy laughs, right? No comment. I think he's a sociopath. I seriously think he knows what he's doing. I don't know. Then he's going to give them a one-time payment of $700. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Yo, man, I don't know how. Like, dog, I just would like, what is this, yo? These are American citizens, okay? We have spent so much money in Ukraine and everywhere else, right? But this Ukraine thing, and you have the gall to stand up and say, I'm going to give them a one-time payment of $700. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, it's wow. Not surprising, but that's the government for you, right? They're basically, they're not here to help in any way, shape, or form. They're here to control, and they're here to take more power as much as you're willing to give them. That's reality. And it's really mind-boggling to me, and maybe that's just because of my life experience. Like, I know there's a lot of evil people in the world, a lot of bad people, but there's a lot of people out there that don't think it at all. They literally think like politicians and the government's your friends, and it's like they're not at all. They're 99% of them are all liars and snakes and frauds, and they'll tell you what you want to hear, and then as soon as they get in office, they're going to do the exact opposite, and that's that. And the only reason why, because I'm speculative of everyone, the only reason why I believe in Trump and I support Trump and I want him to be there is because look at how hard, and they have caused me to believe in him more based on their knee-jerk reaction of everything. If you watch your enemy long enough, they will give you their hand and tell you everything by the way they react, Everything that they're doing to stop this man
Yep.
shows you that he is exposing them at the root of they don't care about DeSantis. They don't care about anybody else. They want Trump gone. Why? Because he slowed down all of this stuff. Remember, we were supposed to have 4 years of this slow drip stuff happening to us under Hillary, right? And
God,
potentially another 8
shackles and all of us.
Well, remember, it was called Agenda 2030 for a reason, and now they need to speed up everything, and they're doing it at a high rate of speed. That's why. Did you hear about how that Klaus Schwab guy said that? You know him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was just making sure. I figured you did. But for those that don't know, the World Economic Forum, he's like the main. He's the evil supervillain from Germany, basically.
But hold on, don't sleep though. Real quick, and I don't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, you're good.
He's just he's the face of it.
Oh yeah, he's the mask.
But the mastermind of this resetting situation is Charles, the King of England.
Oh yeah.
He came up with this is his baby. Okay,
that doesn't surprise me.
I just wanted to. Yeah, I did an episode. I'm like on that. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, oh, all of it is connected. That's what, and I say it all the time. It's all connected.
Oh yeah,
so much all connected. And this is the other thing, real quick. And I told my brother, I said, when that man becomes King of England, you're gonna see certain things happen. Because his baby has to get moved. It's just crazy.
It's honestly bonkers. But no, I mean,
yeah,
the whole agenda was, remember, you will own nothing and be happy. That is essentially the target of all this. This is the Green New Deal. This is the whole point of climate change. The whole COVID stuff was a test run to see how will certain places handle certain things. Like Australia went complete sheep, right? They built these giant facilities for COVID, all that stuff. Whereas we resisted a little bit at first. Most people were just like, yeah, whatever. And then, some people, like we kind of got tired of it, but it was a test run. It was a trial run. But I remember hearing a couple months ago that Klaus Schwab guy say that the next pandemic is going to be like an internet infrastructure one. And that's what I think their goal is. I think eventually they will wipe out the internet, because for a while, and the reason I say that is because, well, at least for us peasants, right? Because what they don't want is what we're doing right now, talking about this stuff, sharing this stuff on Twitter, breaking the narrative, because they know that mainstream media, no one trusts it anymore. No one likes it anymore. No one even pays attention to it anymore. Normally, if they're telling you, then it's the complete opposite, because that's just how they are. So they don't want us having conversation. Knowledge is power, and they know that. The more knowledge you have, the less controllable you are. So they don't want us to be speaking of these things. They just want us to go, oh, it was climate change. Yeah, we should probably not drive cars anymore. And sucks for the people at Maui, but let's get back to hey, it's almost October. My pumpkin spice latte is coming out soon. Right. That's basically what they want you to do.
Yes. But people are waking up, and but they're waking up slowly. The only thing I'll say, but it's still happening. So I'm not saying that, slowly is better than not happening. You know what happened too in 2020, when 2020, all of that stuff was happening. A lot of us who woke up were, we were like privileged or, blessed to wake up, because we had been spoiled. I did not know before all of this. I was a Democrat, right? Mm-hmm. So I didn't know why I was living so good in 2018 and 2017, getting money. I mean, Matt, having a good time. I didn't know it was because the president of the United States at the time, Trump, was actually doing his job, as he could. So now you're so spoiled, you haven't been, and I'm not saying people should be beaten into like waking up, but sometimes that's what it takes. Biden being our president is the awakening that a lot of people need. It's sad that it's come to this. America's in a bad place right now. What the world thinks we stand for is not what the citizens stand for. And I'm kind of going big and then coming back to it though, but all of this, I'm hoping that people are getting mad. I just want to see people
And that was the biggest hindrance with Trump being in office for the deep state, right? He not only exposed them, but he showed them how much better our country can be economically. Like, he did so many good things for our country that helped the individual citizen in just 4 years. And that was with literally restraints all over him as well. Everybody was financially in a better position when he was in office. And then all of a sudden, this clown comes back, this dead body on puppet strings walks into office, and everything goes to shit within a year. Within a
Dog.
year. Not even 1 year. And then
before a year.
And the whole purpose was, that's why they wanted Hillary in there, because they wanted that slow drip of things just getting worse and worse and worse and worse, because then they could sit there and say, hey, this American ideology that we have, this experiment, the American experiment, isn't working anymore, and we have to try something new. That's what they wanted to do. Trump broke all that, because within 4 years he proved, hey, it actually can be great. Look, we can make this country great again. And that's why they hate him so much, because he's like, you're fucking ruining our plans. What are you doing?
And listen, yep. And even there's this clip that of Trump talking at I guess the UN, whatever, and all that. And it was talking about the topic was all the fossil fuels is the devil's.
I love it's called a fossil fuel. It's like, dude, you know how much fucking oil there is in the world? There's nothing to do. There's no fossils even. Like, come on.
Okay. Like, whatever it is, I love it, by the way. Give me more of it. But anyway, so they're saying, oh, we're going green. And Trump stands up in front of all of these globalists and he says, you know, I hear you guys talking about shutting down your oil, what is it called? Your refineries.
Yeah, refineries, oil field, everything.
And this is like back, I think, in like 2018 or something like that. He's like, I hear you guys shutting all that stuff down. And he's like, and you're giving power to, and he was telling them, like, y'all giving Russia a lot of power by doing this. But for whatever climate change, he was like, he said, but in America, that's not what we're doing.
Yeah,
we're drilling at home. Like, it's like,
yeah, I remember, and their faces were just like, oh my god, they got it. This guy.
It's all of these people. And they were like laughing. Actually, first they were laughing at him, and he was saying, "At America, we're gonna drill at home. We're gonna have our own energy because no corrupt country is going to have power over us." Because he understood energy. For a country to run, you have to have your own resources. You can't keep begging people for other stuff, right? And then these other countries were laughing. And I think when he walked past them, he gave them a white handkerchief, like, here you go, like, because you're going to be begging for mercy from Russia, right? And for all of my like things that I say about Russia, because I actually have, it is what it is with Putin. I don't have a big problem with Putin. He's not my president, but I don't hate him like everybody else does. But anyway, but I'm America first. So I don't want him to have all the power. You know what I mean? Like, I want us to be on top, but I also don't want us being on top and then promoting all kinds of degeneracy to the rest of the world. I don't want that either. You know?
Yeah. And Cindy makes a good point, right? Like, all this, everything's going electric. Yeah, well, what creates electricity? Number one, our power grid can't. It's in such a bad shape, and eventually it's going to collapse. But what powers the power grid, right? It's coal plants. Which is all fossil fuels, essentially.
All fossil fuels,
and they don't talk about how batteries are created, right? Like the damage that does. Go ahead, you go into it.
Yeah, like I said, I made an episode on that, and it was all about King Charles too. I hate calling him that, but it's just easier because I only have one king. But anyway, Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. Anyway, so and I'm American. It feels weird to call somebody a king, but yeah, when you see the mining that they do to the earth and all this like chemicals and stuff and all of that, I'm like, this doesn't even look safe. It looks reactive in some fashion. I don't know. Why are we doing it any different? Yeah, okay. Because I see Morgan is saying nuclear. That's fine. Want to try new things. That's good. But keep my base fossil fuels, okay? Keep it here, while we figure out new things. Don't
Yeah.
take that away from me, and don't tell me to look up at the sun, for energy. Because now I'm starting. Are you guys worshiping the sun? Like, what's going on? No, it doesn't. It doesn't
No, they're
work
trying
like
to
that.
block out the sun. That's what they're.
There you go. That's even better. That's even better.
Thank you, Morgan, for subscribing.
Yay!
Greatly appreciate it. And yeah, I
Woo!
100% agree with it. That nuclear is the future, but they want to get away from that. They don't want nuclear because that's a positive. That would be a good thing for all of us, because it's not like the old nuclear back in the day from like Chernobyl, right? It's a lot different since then. But I want to
Right.
show this video real quick, and because
Yeah,
we're
go ahead,
talking
yeah.
about the indictments and what it's
Yeah, I
doing
know.
to people. So I found this video, and I just found it very, very interesting.
Never voted in my life. But all these indictments, every time there's some scandal about Hunter Biden, Trump gets indicted. Because of this, I'm going to vote for Trump for the first time I've ever voted in my life. Anyone else? Comment below. Never.
So, I mean, like, it's the reverse effect, right? Because we see every single time something comes out negative about this administration. Same thing with like Maui. No one's talking about it really on the news. Like, they're mentioning it, but they're not really talking about the extreme death toll. I've also heard reports where like the bodies in the vehicles that they are found burned were crushed. Like, they're not just burn victims. They're like crushed like a tin can. You know what I mean? Like, why? Yeah,
Like,
it's like, it's not, why, how would they not get out of the vehicle? Like, so there's a lot of stuff that's being hidden. But anytime something crazy like that happens, well, then Trump gets hit with something, and then the news focuses completely on Trump. And it's all it is direct distractions, misdirection. And, that's unfortunately where we're at now, because they're trying to suppress our news. And that's why I think it's only going to get worse. Yeah, I think it's only going to get worse before it gets better. But
but that's why we exist, and that's why we're putting our minds together, because this is a thing that is on my mind about 2024, and I'm going to get to that topic, because we're going to have to figure out how to reach people, and that's just it. But I'm going to get to that, and let me write that down: reach people. But what you just said there, and actually earlier when you were saying how he was like, everybody should just drop out the race and everything. And people get so mad when he says that. And I'm like, yo, y'all got to understand that it is not about Donald Trump. Oh, fire at 1,000 degrees. Yeah. Cremate. Yeah. Well, it's blazing.
That's got to be, I mean, how hot I just never thought a wildfire would get 1,000 degrees. Like, that's,
it's just really, crushing. It's just
I'm not a genius. I mean, my shtick is being an idiot, but 1,000-degree wildfire, I don't know, man. Like, that's
like, I feel like it'll burn, like the crush, there's just so many things coming out of that. But what he said about everybody should drop out the race, when he says it, because emotional people, they'll say, oh, Trump, look, he only cares about himself. He's a narcissist. We need to stop using that word so loosely. He may have a huge ego, but a narcissist is a different kind of person to me. Like, but anyway, I listen to people from other countries talk about like our political situation, and the analyst that I listened to, one of them, he was like, they all need to drop out the race and stop. This is not the time. And he said that last month. I did a live where I was showing that footage, and I was showing that footage, and I was showing like what the other people are saying about what's going on. People who, they're not emotional about it, right? They're just analyzing what's going on. The fact is, this is the biggest form of election meddling I've ever seen. Like, in your face. Okay. I thought 2020 was bad. These people are trying to charge him with everything. And while I don't think that Georgia is necessarily going to stick, I'm more concerned about the one in Washington, D.C. I'm concerned about the federal indictment, because in Washington, D.C., you can't find somebody who's going to find him innocent. Now, this particular charge, the Washington, D.C. one, they're trying to say like, oh, he was lying. He said that he didn't think that he lost, but he did know that he lost or whatever. Yeah, it is a bogus case, but it's a precursor in my mind to, if they find him guilty for that case, then they can bring up the fact that now, okay, we found you guilty for lying, to which Can you imagine? First of all, even if he was lying is not a crime, okay? But anyway, if we find you guilty for lying to the people, now we could say that you really did orchestrate a sedition, and that is I believe that's the charge that can get somebody actually taken off of the ballot. Like everything else, really, he could run from prison, and if he won as a president, if he won the presidency, he just pardon himself, except for that one, inciting an insurrection. If you are a sitting president doing something like that, that's the one that can have you removed, and that's the one they're gonna go. I know they're gonna go for it.
Well, we have our third. We have the tripod complete here now.
Hey,
what's
can y'all
up,
hear me?
Justin? Yeah, we can hear
I
you.
hear you. Is
All
it
right.
me who just can't see your avatar, or like
I don't know what's going on. No, I don't know if one of y'all signed into my account to start the stream or what happened there, but I'll figure it out after.
It may have been me. I don't know.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, because I can't sign in, but it is what it is.
Oh, I don't know. Like it's under set. I don't know. I will talk after because I have this set up
Yeah.
and it's got all my stuff in here. But anyway, sorry that you just have this big giant eyeball. But hey, you're here.
Yeah, I literally have no idea what's been happening. I'm just like ridiculously busy right now.
Hey, we get it, man. But we are glad to have you here. And
yeah, I'm here to catch up on the news. I'm here to see what's happening.
No, we were just talking about the indictments with Trump and just kind of how crazy it's been. But as like Casey, just to follow up with what you were saying too about these charges, the way it is with the legal system, you try to nail them with as many charges as possible because some of them aren't going to stick. But if you have 3, 4, 5, 6 charges, they can't drop them all. They're not going to drop them all. So that's why, when I was in law enforcement, right, when you charge somebody, you don't hit them with 1 felony, you hit them with 4. Even if you know they're not going to stick. You know why? Because if they plea out, they're gonna plea out to one of them. That was just the name of the game. Unfortunately, it sucked, right? But that's just the way it is. That's why I don't do it anymore because a lot of it's trash. But yeah, it's all insanity, and it's again.
But even to what you just said there, you're right too. Because I'm not even. I'm so busy thinking about them trying to put him in jail, and I'm thinking like, well, he can at least run from prison. Which isn't that sick that I have to this. I'm not normalizing it, but like this is really a thought, right? But when you do stick all these indictments, which are coming with, I think the man's looking at 400 years to life
and life, and possibly the death penalty.
400 years and life. So
like this is for. It sounds like a joke, right? But anyway, then you keep him so busy and tied up in legal affairs with massive lawyers. How can he? And then one of his trial dates starts right before Super Tuesday or something. I don't know the names of these things with primaries, but
that was not to interrupt. I'm sorry, but you just hit a great point. I didn't want to lose it because my brain's too small. The money aspect. They're going to tie him up with legal fees so he can't campaign. Right now, not that I don't even think Trump needs to campaign. He can literally sit in his basement and stream on YouTube, and he'd get banned. But anyway, the man, everyone knows who he is. He's not gonna. I don't think he needs a campaign. But that's what they want to do is they want to tie as much of his time and his money up as possible, so he cannot be out there talking to the people about what's going on. He's nose deep into this nonsense, and they're not gonna. And they're trying to, like I said, every opportunity they can to stop this man from running or every roadblock they can put in his way, they're doing. And listen, when a sinking ship is sinking, all the rats come to the top. And that's exactly what's going on currently. It's only they're only going to keep exposing themselves. Not like Hunter Biden, but.
And then like one more point, right? Because I sent you a clip, and so we can actually look at this clip and like we all can react to it, if you will. It's a clip from Tim Cook. Really good debate on his show today. I didn't catch it, but I'm catching some of the
Vivek one.
Nah, he had Laura Loomer on, and this guy called Bill. I've actually connected with him before. That's a whole nother story. So, but. It's the clip. You see it, right? I just sent it to the Bring the Asteroid. Oh, my fault. I guess I never did. Sorry.
It's all right. I was maybe I screwed up again. I boomer a lot of things, guys. So
yeah, you're right. You know what? I boomered that for sure. What was the point that I was gonna? So yeah, These people, though, for real, you're right about showing their hand. Like, why? You got an army of people coming after one man. It does make you say, like, well, what did y'all do? Like, but they know the staff. I hate using the word establishment, right? Too much.
It
I
is
don't
what it is,
too
though.
much, but they know, yo. I know because I know if it was me, I'd be like, oh, as soon as I get in there, I'm not making no mistakes like the last time I was trying to get people to like me. Absolutely not. Everybody's getting fired. Everybody's getting indicted. Oh, I'm coming for you. Because
Well, see, and
y'all came for me.
that's a great point because realistically, and I want both of yours opinions, right? Say he gets elected again, right? Let's say listen, I'm going to call it right now. There's no way in hell that they're going to let this man take office again. The only way this man's ever going to get back in office again is going to be like military means. That's the only way that I see that possible. Now, let's just say by some weird, say there is no water main break at 2 a.m. and there's no spike in votes and they find all these dead people that voted at 2, right? Let's say that doesn't happen and he actually wins. Well, he wins like he did last time. How does he get rid of these people, right? Like, I think it's so embedded, it's so deep that the only way you do that is like seriously with like military, like not a coup, but you clean out your own government with your troops. Like, I just don't see another way. Like, I'm telling you that.
That's
You
the
think
only
that
way.
the FBI is not going to go, hey, we're going to shut down. If he said
Yeah.
we're shutting down the FBI tomorrow, do you think they're going to go, okay, well, here's my ID, here's my weapon? They're going to go, no. They're going to try to arrest him, right? You're going to have federal government versus federal government. Like, that's just like, I know you're never going to hear this on another bigger podcast, but that's reality. Like, it's never going to, they're never just going to sit down. The CIA is never going to go, okay, yeah, well, you know what? We had a good run, but I think it's time to pack it up. Like, they're never going to do that.
Just box everything up. And just,
Yeah. I guess Petco's hiring, or I can always go to Best Buy or something.
As long as I'm not white. But bro, you know, damn, I didn't even, but you're right. And that's why you're not going to hear this on any other podcast because we bring the asteroid, and that's some asteroid stuff you just said there. That really is.
Yeah, I don't really hold back.
And as an introduction, Laura Loomer is full Trumper. She's a little loud, you know, but that's just her. And then Bill is full DeSantis, and you guys see my bias immediately. All right, go ahead.
All right, let's play this because
I guarantee you nobody says anything about you. They don't say anything about me. And Jeremy Redfern personally tweeted at me, insulting me. And I was like, I'm 50-50 between Trump or DeSantis. And now I'm like, I first of all, I will not throw DeSantis under the bus because he has awful supporters, but I will criticize him for having terrible campaign staff. He should have fired Pshaw a long time ago.
Yeah.
This whole idea, I can dish it out, but can't take it either.
Yeah, I didn't dish it out.
Trump is. Let me put it this way.
He asked a question.
Let me put it this way. Trump is the embodiment of toxic, and this is what I think is kind of amusing. Is that Trump?
We are not talking about that. We asked you to address. We asked you to address this. We asked you to address this.
Let me just make this point very simply. The question I'm asking has nothing to do with DeSantis and Trump supporters insulting each other.
Yeah.
The issue is,
why was somebody mean to you? I don't know.
My point is this. Why is it that when I say I'm in favor of DeSantis, the Trump people desperately try to persuade me? And when I say, yes, you know what? I'll put it this way.
Maybe that's your fee, but that's
not
my
fee.
My point is this. I'm not the only one who's...
What's that?
You don't have to play the whole 3 minutes.
Okay.
Because this is basically what they go back and forth and say, and this guy, he can't take it.
Yeah,
so,
it sounds like a huge leftist, in my opinion.
He's a huge. There you go, Matt. You got it right on point.
Because they're not. Yeah, it's just I can't argue facts. He clearly, like, it's immediately when they criticize anything DeSantis, he goes, well, but Trump did this. Like, that's not an argument, man. You got to defend what you're saying. If you want to bring up a counterpoint after, that's fine. That's like what children do. Well, but he helped me do this. It's like, come on, man.
That's what they do, bro. I have been on one of his spaces, and they allowed me to talk, you know, because I go on DeSantis supporter spaces, and he holds them, right? Because they it is like that they're like patting each other on the back, like, yeah, I know, right? Because Trump's dumb, right? Yeah, he's going down, yeah. And I'm like, do you guys hear yourselves? Like, even if for me seeing DeSantis for who he really is, actually, I'm not excited about a person going down through the federal deep government. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? This is
I
about.
want to hear something crazy.
You
know why all these people love DeSantis so much? It's not because of anything DeSantis did. It's because how much they don't like Trump. It's the same thing as the leftists did, with Biden. Like, nobody actually likes that guy. He just isn't Trump, so they voted for him. And it just shows you how powerful Trump actually is, that not only do leftists and Democrats do that, but Republicans have to do that too.
Yeah, it's like they're not Democrats, right? But Trump's still the evil doer. So I still have to walk this weird Republican mask line where I'm like better than everybody and I can never sink down to anyone's level. You know what I mean? Like that. You know what I'm talking about? The facade that they put on.
Yeah.
And so DeSantis is the next best thing that they can lean towards because Trump's just too, I would say, quote unquote, vulgar for them. But all these people are degenerates behind the scene anyway. It doesn't matter. Real quick plug for everyone. If you're new here, look into if you want to subscribe and like the stream, we would greatly appreciate it. This is our group channel. So we come here every Friday nights and we talk about all the craziness. But if you want to support all of us, our links are in the chat or in the description. And our individual channels there. So go check us out. We cover basically all this stuff and more. So we would greatly appreciate it. Go ahead. Sorry, guys.
Kind of retired, but
you'll be back.
You take it.
We always bring you back.
So Justin is real quick. I'm sorry, Justin. I have to, because I think it has to be over 3,000, that video I made. So Justin he has a program that works, and he's getting to, this is how you really do invade the culture, is that you show people how to get their voices out there. And Justin, you're really good at doing that. Bringing views.
Yeah.
Really, really good. So yeah.
Appreciate it. Hopefully I can do a good job.
No, yeah, you can.
You will.
Yeah.
You are.
Like
no ifs about it, but
right.
Did you want me to show that other link that
sent? I'm gonna talk about that too. Let me just say real quick about these DeSantis people. Like, listen, here's the thing. Their thing is, I've seen people say, if you want to fight for Trump, vote for DeSantis. I'm like, yo, y'all are sick. That is not a good campaign.
What does that even
slogan.
mean?
Yeah.
Huh? Fight for Trump, vote for DeSantis.
To defend Trump, you have to vote for DeSantis, and he'll get rid of the deep. Because DeSantis is going to get rid of the deep state. Yeah, he's going to do what Trump didn't want to do.
I hate to say it, but he is the deep state, bro. Like,
he's absolutely the deep state.
He's just another puppet.
I wish he would have just stayed in Florida. Then I wouldn't have known a lot of the tyrannical things he's done in Florida for other reasons. Like, it's a bit much.
But honestly, I'm glad. I know a lot of people, I hear that a lot too. People are like, man, I just wish they would just shut their mouths and do whatever and just blah, blah, blah. You know what? I'm to the point now. No. Let these morons talk all they want, whether it be in movies or your politicians, whatever. Expose themselves. I want to know that they are complete assholes, because I don't want anything I'm tired of that. I want to know that they're pieces of shit in real life. You know what? Because they don't belong there, because those are the people that have created this problem that we're in today.
Yeah.
That's where we're at, because they tell you one thing on the campaign trail, they act one way, and then once they get behind that desk, then they have their intern underneath them, or they're, doing whatever else it is, stealing all our money.
Yeah. I mean, in reality, the only person who is trying to run for president, or really who has ever run for president, at least, I mean, in my short lifetime, the only person who we actually know who they are as a person is Donald Trump, is because how open he is.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's probably some things that he promised that he didn't fulfill, but at least we know who he is as a person.
And he's not perfect by any means, but we know that, and he's openly said it. He's made mistakes. Yeah, we get it, but I think he's genuinely, and again, even if we don't believe anything that he's saying, it's the reaction of the left. It's the reaction of how they're treating him that shows me we're on the right track with him, and by their actions, are showing me, okay, this is the guy that we need, because they are doing everything they can to stop him. And they hate us more than anybody else on the planet. So
Right. And even with what Tim Pool was saying, the point that Tim Pool was trying to make here, and because Bill kept trying to cut him off.
Of course.
Pool is, for whatever, is a massive influencer. He's more than that, right? But a lot of people, come on, millions of, really? Why would you try to insult somebody who has a massive following and you're the campaign manager? You see what I'm saying? That's the thing. Like they were like tweeting about him. They were trying to insult him online. And he's like, why are y'all doing this? Because Tim Pool had caught DeSantis' campaign team using a little bit of his clip without telling him, without authorization, without paying for it. Right. And then he didn't like that the campaign team had made like deep fakes of Trump and all that. So he brought it out there. And instead of them getting in touch with him and saying, well, let's find out where we went wrong, but let's see how we could fix this. They go and they start trying to ridicule him on Twitter. And so a lot of people were like, this looks bad. Y'all look dumb. What are y'all doing?
Because guys like these old school guys, they don't see any validity in a Tim Pool. They don't see any validity in anything but legacy media. These are these are Bidens of the world, right? They still live in 1950. They still think, hey, we don't share the same water fountain still, right? Like that's how they live. That's how they are. These people are trash.
Matt, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just YouTubers, and that's why they hate YouTubers, because what are YouTubers? Everyday normal people. Tim Pool was an everyday bald dude with a beanie on, just talking into a mic. That's it. And he turned into this. Now he is a form of media, right? Like, look at the people that he has on his podcast. They don't respect that. They will never, ever respect that. And that's why they are so out of touch with the world today. Because I'm telling you, even my parents, they're like their 60s and they're watching YouTube and stuff. Like, they don't watch Fox News. No one cares anymore about that. Even older people don't care. They know like you have to go to the internet to get stuff because it's just the way it is.
You're absolutely right, because I do have an older uncle who's like, yeah, I was watching Redacted and they were talking about something. What's up, Tradition? Thank you for coming through. And I was like, you watch Redacted? He was like, oh yeah, I go to YouTube for my stuff. I'm like, that's what's up. But Matt, what you just said is so true, because I was on his space, right? And so this could segue even into that little clip that I sent you about Vivek. Okay. I was on his space and I'm listening to these people talk and they're patting each other on the back. I mean, some of these people will say things like, we need to bring back the old Republican ways. They said Donald Trump has muddied up the Republican Party. He's made it dirty. And I'm like, boy,
yeah.
This really
and what are they talking about? Right.
So, and then that man said, because they were talking about Vivek Ramaswamy for a second. And then, and this was like two different conversations. So I don't want to make it seem like they called Vivek dirty. Okay. So I want to be very clear. But in the point where they were talking about Vivek Ramaswamy, because somebody was like, they show him in the polls like he's doing good. This was a little earlier. And then Bill was like, we don't have to worry about Vivek Ramaswamy. Okay. Like, the country's not ready to vote somebody anyway with the name Vivek Ramaswamy. And I was like, damn. Like,
oh yeah,
that's what he said. And I was like, well, first of all, we did vote in a Barack Hussein Obama, so I'm pretty sure we could handle a Vivek Ramaswamy if we really want to. These people are so and I know it's not all of them. I don't want to do collective talking, right? But it's a lot of them, and they need to figure out what their problem is. That it sounds really bad, really bad.
I mean, the root of it is that these people are all horrible individuals, and at the end of the day, they are all like Vivek. I'm not the biggest fan. I don't think he's the worst thing in the world, right? Like, he says some good things. I'm still like, until they start bashing him like Trump, then I'll be like, all right, maybe I'm on that train. But he's not saying the right things, and he doesn't seem to be a part of the club. So they're going to bash him into the ground. So yeah, that's when, and we've seen it all the time. You have leftists, right, who are anti-racist, right? They're all, we love everybody, coexist, blah, 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 until you don't agree with what they say. Then they're the first ones to throw every racial slur out in your face as fast as possible, and they want you to die. Like, these people, nothing makes sense to them. They say the right things, but then their mask comes off immediately once they're not getting their way, like the child that they're just the children that never got spanked when they were kids. That's essentially what they all are.
Yep. So yeah, if you play that clip, and then I'll even explain it a little bit. You can go ahead and play the clip.
Vivek, before we let you go, you have said that you're not doing much preparation for this debate, but that New York Times article shows that DeSantis's PAC has effectively got a dossier out on you, giving him plenty of opposition research that they're trying to guide him to bring up during the debate. Are you really not preparing for this debate at all?
Well, the truth is, in the 7 days leading up to the debate, I'm in 8 states. I'm talking to you from California now. I was in Illinois, Michigan, New Hampshire, Iowa. We'll be headed to Atlanta and South Carolina, all between now and the period of the debate. So the way I would say it is, it's not that I'm not preparing for the debate. The way I'm preparing is by talking to voters. That's actually what I think matters more than getting prepped memos from super PAC paid political consultants with pre-prepped robotic attack lines against my opponents. No, that's not how I want to do it. I want to do it by actually talking to voters in this country, having honest conversations, right and left included. I think that's what prepares me, not just for the debate, but more importantly, to lead this nation as I expect to do.
So basically, in the debate, the DeSantis team has a plan. I cannot believe how much of a goddamn who he turned out to be. The plan is that they're going to be nice about Trump, like they telling him, like, be nice about Trump things, but go after Vivek.
Yeah, because then he could turn later.
Right? Like it's just, but it's like they're threatened by Vivek. Now, one thing I will say about Ramaswamy is his foreign policy. He really said some things that I sent you to the link. He said some things I was like, oh word. He straight up was like, you know what, we don't need to give as much aid to Israel like we're doing right now. And I was like, what?
Oh, wow. yes, I did see that.
Wow.
Wait, who said that?
Yeah, Vivek Ramaswamy.
Oh man, he's
done
in dangerous territory.
Yeah, you might see a rifle at the book suppository wherever he's around, But no, I mean, and I agree with him, and that's the thing about like this, that it shows you like DeSantis and all them. They don't care about what voters need or want, right? Like you just said, they muddied the Republican Party. What does that mean, right? So you're the middle class, right? You're poor, like what? When you go to these Trump rallies and stuff, you see a lot of poor, middle class, white, black folk that love him because he resonates to them, the average, normal, everyday person, right? That's who he resonates with. And when I mean DeSantis, they hate those people. They hate them with a passion. They despise the middle class because there's nothing like them. You remember, like, what was that odd thing that he was like, he met that kid for candy and he's like, oh, it's a lot of sugar. Remember?
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to talk to normal. These people are like robots. They're weird people. These are weirdos. They're not normal individuals. They pretend like, what, the Mike Pence commercial where he's filling up his gas with his pickup truck. Motherfucker didn't even pick the gas. He just unhosed it, stuck it in. He probably hasn't filled his own gas tank in God knows how long. It's probably not even his truck. It's probably a rental from a dealership. I mean, they're fake. They're fraudulent individuals. They lie.
God, like, and that's why, like, listen, I'm not saying, of course, I'm not voting for Vivek, but what I'm saying is that I'm not threatened by him, for Trump, but I don't see the need to go after him. People go after him out of weird things like, oh, big pharma and all. I'm just like, listen, man, he made a lot of money. This guy's 37 and he's a billionaire. I need to know where I messed up. But anyway, that foreign policy though, I still can't get over. And he can connect. It's funny because for all this, DeSantis has saved Florida, but the man can't connect with people. Vivek could talk to anybody. You should have heard like how he de-escalated some hype woman about trans something, because there's always a woman fighting for trans something, right? And he was like, well, you don't, she was like, you don't care about people getting hurt or marginalized communities? He was like, no, I do. He's like, but I care more about tyrannical minorities. you know, because it's just a small amount of people who are changing too much things in this country. I'm like, and then he cut her, he like got her to shut up. He knows how to talk to people. And then he's saying like, somebody got mad at me about his foreign policy because I was like, yo, I kind of like it, because he was saying we need to bring all the chips manufacturing to America, because that's the only reason why we all upon Taiwan like that.
Oh, yeah.
It really is. And the person's like, oh, so you want to just let him, allow China to just invade Taiwan? And I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm sorry, I don't care. Like,
yeah, it's like, you know what? Honestly, no. If all our chips are gone and everything, I don't. And
like
the only reason why China gives a shit about it is because the chips are there. If the chips are not there, nobody cares anymore.
We already signed a one China policy already long time ago. Why is this even a discussion? Why? Yo, I got veterans sleeping on the street. Okay. They're replacing the military with illegal immigrants. There's a whole war being so I don't have time to care about what's going on.
And they said a long time ago, like with the homeless policy, right? Like, we have programs set up to control the homeless population, or the to combat, like they said in California, they have like boards of homeless, not boards, but basically these programs in place to combat the homeless program in California, right? These people that are in charge of these programs are on boards and they get paid money from the state. If they solve the homeless problem, they no longer have a job.
Yeah.
They don't want to solve these problems. They don't want to solve medical issues. This is all a business. Literally everything in with the problems of our country are a business. If they solve the problem, they are out of business. Right. The medical industry, that's why it's called an industry. The military industrial complex. All this stuff is never going to get solved, because if it's solved, they lose massive amounts of money. That's the sad part of it.
I mean, man.
Yeah. So it's like, how do you turn that around? You know what I mean? And that's the problem too with like a guy like Vivek and like Trump, right? They openly said the deep state hates Trump. Like the Intel committee, like CIA, they hated him. And you had other politicians openly said, the last thing you want to do is have them hate you. It's like, well, you're literally threatening the president of the United States. But that's the problem, right? You have guys like Vivek that everyone sounds great here on Fox News. But once they get in office, the guys on black sit them down and say, okay, so we're really in charge. You're just a goddamn suit, and you're going to do what we tell you to do. Otherwise, that guy back in the day in 69, 68, he was in Texas. Remember him, who never came back home? Yeah, that's what's going to happen to you if you don't listen to us.
Don't make me laugh at this.
I mean, it's just the reality of it. They've done everything but openly admit that that JFK, what happened there.
That's like why, yeah.
And the only reason, in my opinion, that they didn't do that with Trump yet, in my personal opinion, is because the repercussions would, I think that would be the lid off the top. Like,
I feel like that's what do you feel like, Justin? Do you think that like if they did that with Trump, what do you think would happen?
If they did what? Try to sit down Trump and say we're in charge?
Not sit down. If they JFK'd him.
Yeah.
No, he would definitely just turn around and catch the bullet and throw it back.
No, that's not what I meant. What do you think the people would do? He's going to catch the bullet.
He'd catch it with his teeth and spit it out.
No, I mean, we saw what happened when they stole an election from him. So imagine if they did that. And it's like we're so awake now. Back in the day, people probably would have bought that JFK, got killed by some criminal who
they did.
And nowadays, like, nobody's buying that shit, dude.
No, that's what's crazy, in my opinion, is that everybody knows that that's like basically what happened. And we're just all like, well, what are we gonna do? Nothing.
Yeah. Well, what can we do? I don't. There's nothing.
I mean, there's one thing we. God, it's like
on an individual level, we can't do anything.
No, it'd have to be a big group effort.
No. But right now, no, seriously, right now, on an individual level,
a group project.
Group meeting, everyone.
I got to tell you, this is probably some people having those group meetings, but I'm gonna just leave it right there. But on an individual level, we do what we're doing now, and we reach out. And this is what I even say about 2024. It has to be so unanimous that everybody's like, wait, how did I really don't think Biden is gonna live to, God forgive me, my mortality is at risk always too, right? But I'm just saying, but I just feel like it has to be so unanimous that people will be, this time they would say, because even I voted for him, you know, and now we all need to do something about this.
That's actually a good point. So let's look at the other side of the spectrum for a minute there. So like, there's no way, I think we can all agree that there's no way that they can keep Biden in office. Things are and look, if here's my opinion, if the news is reporting on it, then you know it's happening already, or they're in cahoots, right? If they are now openly reporting on the Hunter Biden stuff and all the stuff that the big guy received, right? All the shady shit that Biden was involved in. There's no way, like, what, Kamala is going to be put in place? That woman, Jesus Christ, that'd be 10 times worse than where we're at now. So what do? Is it Gavin Newsom? That's my understanding, is like he's the next one eyed for it. What's the plan there?
I have no idea.
Biden can't run again. There's no way.
But say, Justin, what?
Michelle Obama.
Right. You know.
Oh, Mike?
Yeah.
Big Mike. Mike.
That's probably gonna be Gavin Newsom.
I don't think, you know what? Call me morbid. I think they would run Joe Biden again.
It'd be like Weekend at Bernie's at that point.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Why not?
They can just have green screen them, stick them in the.
I think a lot of times they already do. Please, man. Like,
oh, I know.
Why not? It is easier. Why not just straight? I mean, come on. Yeah, I know this is like getting disgustingly like deep, right? But if you have this puppet, this real puppet, they can't talk back. Gavin Newsom, for him being like totally with anything evil that they bring up to him. I mean, he's fine with it all as far as I'm concerned, right? He's still young and fresh. Maybe one day he goes rogue. Not to be good.
I think the only reason why they would love Trudeau in place is Trudeau, excuse me.
Same thing.
That's what I was just gonna. That's what I was gonna say. My dyslexia smacked me in the teeth. Basically, it's the same goddamn guy, right? Like he looks like he looks great. You know, he looks great on TV. The older white people of America that are real uppity would love it. Like, oh yeah, look, that's our president. He's great.
Yeah,
but that's like, you know what I mean? He's that ideal. Now he'll come out as gay like a week later and then be divorced like Trudeau did. But you know, whatever. I mean, that's okay today. That's, you know.
You're right, and I mean, yeah, you're right. I don't know what the plan is. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
We're already in year 3 a week in the break.
Yeah, like shout out to GR for saying the truth. I mean, like,
every time Biden is not reading off a teleprompter, and even when he does that, he messes up a lot. But like he always says some shit that's just like it makes no sense. Like every single time he talks.
I'm gonna send you. You're right, Justin. Every single time, and I'm pretty sure y'all ran into this, but I'm gonna send it to y'all again. And Justin, that what you sent to the chat.
I didn't know if y'all talked about that already or not. So.
We talked about Maui, but you know, Canada is something that needs to be discussed because
I got friends out there, and they're
it's happening everywhere.
There's Instagram posts that are being censored in Canada of those fires because they don't want anybody to see. And like he posted screenshots of it, saying like this photo is not available in your country and stuff like that. It's pretty wild.
Well, remember they passed that law in Canada where now they can restrict a lot of things on the internet. So Canada's fucked. Like it's going to get worse and worse and worse. But real quick did you guys see the CNN admitted that Trump was right and Joe Biden was wrong? Did you guys see that clip?
Yeah, I saw that. I first it out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's probably where I got it from. I was gonna play it real quick. I mean, it's not that relevant, but it's just funny that they're finally, and that's what brought up that comment of like, well, because if CNN is admitting all this stuff, right, then he's got to go somewhere. Like, Biden's got to be on his way out at some point. But
So what we'll do, so yeah, you can show that clip, and then I want you to show the clip of Biden that it looks like just a tweet caption, but it is the clip of him doing exactly what Justin says he does. And then I think we should share this photo that you, I'm like planning the whole thing.
No, you're good. You're good. Hey, I'd rather someone else take charge than me.
You should share the photo that Justin sent us on the chat. Is that shareable, Justin?
Yeah. I can pull it up.
I mean, like, do you care if we?
Oh no, that's on his public story. So
okay, bet. And then I want to jump into a more of a cultural type topic.
Okay,
you know what I mean.
All right, I'll play this really quick. This is about a minute 40.
Yeah.
And Kristen, Glenn Kessler from the Washington Post had a.
Can you guys hear that?
About Joe Biden from earlier this month, noting that Hunter Biden admitted in court in July that he was in fact paid substantial sums from Chinese companies. Kessler wrote, Hunter Biden reported nearly $2.4 million in income in 2017 and $2.2 million in income in 2018, most of which came from Chinese or Ukrainian interests. But this directly goes against what Joe Biden said in the debate in 2020 with Donald Trump. Take a listen.
My son has not made money in terms of this thing about what are you talking about? China.
Once you
None of
became
that
vice
is
president,
true.
he made a fortune in Ukraine, in China, in Moscow.
That is simply
various
not
other places.
true.
So it's from two different debates, but I mean, Trump was right. I mean, he did make a fortune from China.
No, I fucking hate
Biden was
that.
wrong. I don't know that he was lying about it. He might not have been told by Hunter, but this blind spot is a problem.
It's a problem, one, because Republicans aren't going to let it go. That's for sure. But also, these
that's
problems
the
are
biggest
continuing
deal.
through the legal system. It's not as though this is something that's been settled in other jurisdictions and Republicans are just harping on it. It is an ongoing thing in our courts. It's not going anywhere.
This is a blind spot. Does it concern you as a Democrat?
Well, I think dads have sometimes, and parents sometimes have blind spots about their kids, for sure. And the president may be no exception. But nothing has tied the president to any of Hunter Biden's dealings. There's no whiff of him being
Except for
involved
blood.
or him being implicated in it. And
Except the phone call when he's like, "Hey, if you don't change that prosecutor like right now, you're not getting money." Yeah,
Remember that right on camera.
Oh my god,
Son of a bitch. And the prosecutor was fired, and everything was okay. Oh my gosh.
All right, I'm gonna show this Justin's picture real quick of these wildfires. So
that's out. That, by the way, that's out his window of his apartment.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can tell there's.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna zoom. Oop.
Wait, hold on. All right.
I'm gonna try to zoom in.
Read the. So what does this
It
say now?
won't really let me.
All right.
It says, for those who can't see, because I'm sorry, it's really small, with wildfires raging around my whole city right now and burning hundreds of homes to the ground, the government and media platforms have censored the local news pages reporting where the fires are and evacuation zones are. See next slide. They only want you to see what they want you to see. If it wasn't obvious that our democracy and freedom was at risk with the C-19 BS, that's what I was talking about, the laws for the government or the Canadian internet stuff, it should be pretty damn clear now. This is why I own so many. Yep, those things. There's so many. There's some seriously sinister shit going on behind the scenes. What? Fuck a Lambo? Oh yeah, fuck a Lambo. I need to get out of.
Yeah,
I was like,
he has money. He has a good bit of money.
Oh, okay. I was like, Lambo. I was like, all right, well. The commoner that I am, I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah, I mean, there's like 10 more slides where he like talked about how there's a bunch of censorship on Instagram and everything, and yeah, it's a lot. So I won't put it all in there, but it's crazy.
Well, Instagram is just if not, I don't know which one is worse, is Facebook or Instagram, and they're both owned by the same company.
Same shit,
So,
really.
They're just, I mean, even I'm shadow banned on Facebook, and if it wasn't for all the pictures that I already have on it, and I need to try to get them on a disc or something, not a disc. I'm being old. 98 on a floppy disk. No, but I need to get them on a flash drive quick so I could just shut it down altogether. Like it's mindless discussion on Facebook, and I can't. None of my stuff shows.
Quick question, Justin. Do you know what a floppy disk is?
I know it's not floppy.
Well, actually, the original ones were.
They were very floppy.
They were like flexible. You can almost bend them in half in like a U shape. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to pick one out of a crowd. Let's just say that.
That is, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, you're natural, it's not weird that you're young, but it's like,
that's funny.
dog,
Not a bad thing. It's just still funny that like it's crazy. It does show you though how insane technology has advanced in such a short period of time.
No, what it shows me is that my stuff is prehistoric. That straight up adults are like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, floppy disk. I don't know.
I remember we used to have like one family computer, and now literally everybody has computers in their pockets, and so I've also seen like an evolution that's pretty wild too.
I remember we didn't have a family computer.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time period where I didn't have one either, but I don't really remember.
Yeah, we had the family Mac, and then we started it up. It literally sounded like a goddamn jet engine turning on. You were like, holy shit. I mean, it was like, what the hell? There was like heat coming off this bastard.
Yeah, and then the fan would be like,
yeah. You need earmuffs to run it.
I remember when mice came out, the mouse.
Oh, yeah.
And we had them in school, and we were like, what is that? Like, it was the mouse.
It's funny.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah.
Right.
So
what's
real
next?
quick though, this Canada thing, real quick. This is a problem. This is really happening. They keep calling it wildfires. I mean, this is the conservation thing that I'm talking about. They want 30% of this planet. They want more of the planet. Okay. I keep saying 30%. They want more than that, and this is a problem. This is a problem. I don't even know what else to say.
This is how I think. Remember, a lot of people have asked, like, with the Agenda 2030 and everything's going to be like a smart city, right? These 15-minute cities. A lot of people have asked, like, well, how are you going to get people out of rural areas? How are you going to move them out? You displace them with natural disasters.
Yeah.
You do exactly what they did in Maui. You do exactly what they're doing in Canada. You fucking burn it all to the ground, and you say, "Hey, sorry, you can't live here anymore. We're getting you out of here." Because again, back to the Maui situation, they said the water was shut off. Like people couldn't hose their own water or hose their houses down because the water wasn't working. The emergency alarm systems weren't working. Like these people are not stupid. They're doing this pre-planned thing for a very, very long time.
A very long time. And like you said, that 4 years, that man, I'm sorry.
If they run the infrastructure of everything, they know how to turn it all off. So if they turn it all off, what are you gonna do?
We were supposed to be way further in this destruction. That 4 years of Trump really, even for the globe, was different. So they of course they don't want him back. But when people ask me, what would it take for you to not want him as president? I'm like, I don't even understand your question. Like, why do you not want you? Like,
does not compute. Sorry.
Like, huh? But I mean, there's nothing, because what it would take, he's not gonna do. It's something with children. Well, I don't even want to go there, right? That's it. After that, I don't care. Like, I seen the report card, bro. Like, I'm grateful for those 4 years. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which is so crazy, man. Because if in 2016 you would have told me, I would have been saying that. I would have been like, nah. Anyway, and real quick, I sent this thing, about Biden. If you hit it's right up under Justin's.
I see it. All right, let me pull this up.
First of all, her caption.
One day he's gonna shout "fuck it" live. Do you want me to play this?
Yeah, play him, so we can know.
All right.
Included.
Oh, Jesus, it's so loud. Hang on. All right, there we go.
Groundbreaking Asian Americans like Vera Wang and Joan Shingang Shanga. Wow.
Oh my!
I do it again. One more time. Just one more time.
All right.
Hit me again.
Included groundbreaking Asian Americans like Vera Wang and Joan Shingang Shanga Kawawa. Included.
Listen, it's so funny, and the first thing that comes to my mind when I see the state of where we're at, and like this bumbling, fumbling idiot that is literally running our country, the first thing I think of are like the veterans from World War II, World War I, like people that have lost like their lives, generations gone, families gone, just namesakes gone because they fought in wars to defend our country. And this is the legacy that is now representing that. It's so disgusting. Like it pisses me off that these people sacrifice everything for this corrupt piece of shit to do whatever the hell he just did on stage.
First of all, groundbreaking
you pulled a
Asians.
Biden.
I know, right? Groundbreaking Asians like Vera Wang. I mean, listen, I like her wedding dresses, but I don't think that. I think there's probably an Asian somewhere that was more groundbreaking than that. And then the rest, he just was like, and you see, he's trying to look. It's like, I
can't read the prompter.
Yeah,
I don't know what I don't know what that means.
He should have just been like, you know what? I don't know what it says. Okay, they all know I'm reading it. I don't care. I don't know what it says, right? But Donald Trump says the China.
Yeah, the China virus, and oh no,
You have to see these old clips of it. Like, I laugh at them. We get the reporters. This was during COVID. Yeah, why do you call it the China virus? I mean, don't you think that it's? And he's like, because it's from China.
Yeah, I love that. And she was Chinese too. She was Chinese, and he's just like, yeah, it's because it's from China. You idiot.
That face like it's from China.
Yeah. What else am I supposed to call it?
I could do that all day. But yeah, just so you know, just wanted to let everybody know this is our commander in chief. So everybody can sleep well tonight.
Our PDF file in chief.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk about a sobering thought.
I know. All right. You want me to pull up this next thing?
So don't pull up the thing that Pearl, because I didn't really look at any of this, right? So put up the thing after
Underneath.
that. There's some sort of like interview, and there's some sort of miserable, lonely women kind of talk thing happening.
Oh, this is right up Justin's alley.
Yeah, that's what I like. I like cultural type conversations. So let's see what.
It is nice to break from the insanity to talk about.
All
right, it says, told y'all women would rather keep their delusional standards and end up single and alone. So let's read. Let's play this.
How old are you, ladies?
30, 32.
Okay. At your age, do you feel like dating has become easier or harder for you?
It's honestly stupid.
What's the difference between now and then?
It's harder to meet people who have the same interests as you, because as a woman, the older you get, the more serious you get.
Yeah.
But men don't match that energy.
Do you think it's because men are becoming more successful as they age and they have their pick of the litter?
No.
I think they're becoming stupider, to be honest.
Or do you think that they're just going for younger women?
I don't think it has anything to do with age.
No, I think it's that men have discovered that they don't need to try as hard to want to win a woman's heart. And it's sad because there are a lot of women out there who will settle for that, and that's fine. We won't settle for that. So if you don't bring your A game, you're just really not.
A game.
How old are you, ladies?
All right, so
the thing is, none of the men that they want women out there with their tits out in public. So that's number one. And then two, you're past 30, and I guarantee you through your entire 20s you were hoeing. So that's
they also like bubble gum shrimp and all kinds of shrimp.
Yeah, that's how people talk where I'm from too. So I can't.
I know she was just annoying, but
and then she's like, but we're not gonna settle. But I feel like I'm sorry, because now I had to do it too. But now I feel like the other girl was like, I mean, I never said I wasn't gonna settle. Like, you know how women
they're gonna wait till they're 45 and then settle once they realize they have no hope.
Yeah, maybe they're just attracting the wrong type of men. You know, maybe it's a personal problem. I mean, first off, why look at the one on the left. Look what she's wearing. Okay, she's 32. Why are you wearing goddamn desert camis outside, and a white bag and a black tube top? Like,
let me find.
I am not taking you serious in any way, shape, or form.
At least one of them are a single mom.
Oh, for sure. If both of them, I would imagine, probably by multiple gentlemen,
probably.
But the blame. Listen,
probably by multiple.
I'm just saying, you know, And that's another thing too. I wish he asked, like, oh, so how many kids do you guys have? Right. And then when they say, well, we got 3. Okay. Yeah. Well, maybe that might be a fact.
So this is what women should do. At your very youngest age, 20 years old, you should be looking for a husband. Because that's when men aren't jaded yet. Yeah, they might not be as successful, but they're not jaded yet. But once you go through your 20s as a man, then you realize that women are like this, not only in their 20s, but also in their 30s. You kind of become like, yeah, like, fuck it. You're right. I'm not going to take these women seriously.
Yeah, and you're right, Justin. You are right about that. In your 20s, because a lot of people who I know are married, they knew their husbands definitely in their 20s. And even this whole look here, both of them. First of all, the boobs out, like we still can't be. Don't get me wrong, I like to have a little fun, I do. But if I'm it's gonna have, it's gonna be a little more tasteful. But we cannot. The thirsty look does not look good. It definitely doesn't look good past 30 something. And to be honest, the one with the white pants on, I don't believe that she's 32. I don't. I'm 40. I don't believe that she's 32. But this whole look, it just looks put together. It looks insecure, especially the one on the one with the black, the one that you were talking about, Matt, that you just destroyed her whole.
Yeah. Sergeant Slaughter over there. Yeah.
I haven't heard those two words in a long time together. But where was Sergeant Slaughter from again? Was
WWF.
Yes.
He's a wrestler, Sergeant Slaughter. Sergeant Salami over here, but anyway.
That is just hilarious. But yeah, and then then they say stuff like they're just getting stupider. So we already see how you think. You think you're better than men. That is a weird thought to me. Like, I know, you're trying to find your person and everything. I don't think that men are getting stupider. First of all, that's not even a word, right? But this competition, this weird, like, men are just getting more stupider. No, what kind of men are you meeting? Because for real, I'm meeting a lot of guys who are waking up and smart and can handle great conversation. I've said a lot of guys, I'm sorry. But you know what I mean? Like, I've met people who, like, I'm just saying, like, I don't think they're getting more dumb at all. I don't think that's true at all. And I think that's wrong to say about men. And I don't think it's right that people can say things like that and get away with it. Because
and she was saying, you don't find anything in common with these men, and other women have made it easier for them to not have to try as hard. Well, again, it's I guarantee you, if you go to their Instagrams or anything like that, they're taking a bunch of thirst trap pictures. They're taking a bunch of revealing photos. You attract, listen, a piece of shit attracts the flies. Don't blame the flies, blame the shit. So if you're attracting the garbage, that's a you problem. If you're finding men that you're not compatible with, or that, we don't see eye to, well, maybe look inward. Why is it always everyone else's fault? Like, well, maybe I'm attracting. What am I doing to attract these type of men to me? It's not all men are garbage. It's we don't have anything in common. Well, what exactly do you have in common? Taking your 3 kids to soccer practice on Friday? Like, okay, well, maybe you find a single dad. I don't know, but I don't know.
It's just, I mean, it is. And so I was on this space, by the way, that's all you hear me say nowadays, but I'm always trying to.
I see you in space all the time. I'm like, how do you do it? I'll listen sometimes, but that's about it.
You came on one of the spaces I was on, and I was hoping that you would stay. The space crashed. That's what happened.
Yeah.
I go to the ones that I know, like, my people, they're going to give me the mic. And I know how that sounds, but I mean, anyway, but it's all for networking too, because I want to for this channel, for everything. So there's a whole purpose, and it's good to hear like people talk. But there's one particular fella, and he goes by the name Divisive Content. He has a channel actually on Rumble, and I do want to link up with him. I think he should come one day. Like, we should have guests on the live, or one day. But he was talking. One of the people asked a question about, why all of a sudden lately I'm seeing like a bunch of memes or whatever, basically talking bad about women. But the girl, she was just really asking because she's not involved with too much or whatever. So she was asking. And Divisive, he came on and he was like, yo, like, straight up, because he was saying something like most young men are virgins now. And not because like, oh, I took an oath to God and that's, you know, like that's what I'm doing. It's like, no, because they can't find women worth, I guess, having sex with. He was saying, you know, the feminism has destroyed the country. He was like, you know, he had stats. That's why I want to, because I'm loosely quoting him. He had stats. He was saying, if women didn't vote in 2020, Trump would have been president. Like it would have been absolutely unanimous. Like he had all these stats, and he was saying basically, and couldn't disagree with him on anything. And a lot of this stuff, I kind of say myself too as a woman. It was basically like, you know, women have been the downfall. Now, of course, we can't just point to one group, and I don't think that he pointed to one group. But what I will say is that when us women, we get emotional, we get charged, we get hysterically, we're ready, you know, and when we're given a topic or when we're given a mission, we go hard for it, right? And so if we're given the wrong mission, we are agents of chaos, and we do cause a lot of chaos. I mean, a lot of this trans stuff, again, is promoted by women. The stuff that's happening in schools, women bringing in books talking about gender queer, and this is how you know, touch yourself and all this stuff. It's women. So I'm just saying, like, how do y'all feel about that? I guess.
Well, it's a fact that 80% of men are virgins or haven't had sex in the last 3 years. That's like a statistical fact. And I would say that it's not the same for women. I think that any woman who went to college probably has at least 10 bodies, and I don't think that's an exaggeration. If she's any kind of attractive, once she gets out of college, she has at least 10 bodies. And yeah, it's just there's a huge, because that causes something within the privilege is invisible to those who have it, and women definitely have a good bit of privileges, and they think that men have those same privileges, and we just don't. And it just causes such a big gap between the two genders that for people like me, it's like, I'm not even going to deal with it. Like, I don't deal with women. I'm not going to lie. Like I want money. I want success right now. That's what I want. Cause if I try to chase women, I'm just going to get a headache. That's all you get in return. So I'm good on it. Like if I ever had a wife, she would have zero social media. She would never go out in public wearing this shit. Like she would, you know, her clothes would be approved by me that she wears in public. She's not going on no girls' trips. She's not going on yachts in Miami. None of that shit's happening, man.
A yacht in Miami is a red flag.
Yeah. Private jet. Like, you see a private jet on a girl's Instagram, you already know what's going on.
What's the other place, too, they always talk about? Like, if you see an Instagram model who's been to...
like Tulum and...
Yeah,
I think Tulum is like the spawn point for internet thoughts.
Yeah, they're like, if you ever see a girl in a place like that, just know they've been shit on. Like, legitimately, real
Dubai?
life. Yeah, Dubai. Like, they've actually shit on them. That's like their thing.
Yeah.
So, it's like a thing there. It's like they pay money. But I mean, you know, that's the world that we live in. We're full of degeneracy, right? And I think a lot of that has to do with social media, with our false idols that we have, you know, with pop stars and shit like Cardi B and all that. Like that's what the youth look up to. Like, look at that Ice Spice gnome looking woman. You know what I mean? She looks very, let's just say, down all the time. So, you know, like what, that's not your idol, you know, shaking your ass and all that like that. I'm not saying you have to be a Protestant, but you also have to have some type of respect. And if you see that type of behavior all the time, you're only going to be treated what you're seen as. At the end of, like, you'll see a lot of girls on the internet are doing like basically hoe stuff, right? And then they're like, oh, how dare you think that it's like, well, you know, as the famous Dave Chappelle skit, right? Well, if you're dressed as a cop, I'm going to think you're a cop. I mean, it's the same concept. So, but that's the society that we live in. And, you know, you have a lot of younger parents out there raising kids that they themselves don't have morals. So it's that slide to degeneracy. And honestly, what's crazy, and maybe I'm just that insane, but I think all of this stuff that we're looking at too ties into the whole 2030 situation in a sense, right? Absolutely. Because it's like they want to dumb you down. They want to make you dependent on the government if you have 5 kids and you don't have a husband and you're the whole life. And, you know, men don't want to deal with that, right? So now they're not reproducing. Now we're not having any more children. If we are having children, they're completely they're basically retarded. So it's like it's a lose-lose all around. It's the fabric of the family unit is just completely destroyed in every way.
So my next question, and what y'all saying, I mean, there's nothing deniable about what you're saying, and that's why I always say it's all connected. It's all connected. It's all connected. But my next question, some people will probably think is it's not controversial for me to ask. It's an obvious question because there is a degeneracy that's happening in our culture. That's happening. It's been happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's happened. I don't know. That English was weird, Casey. Chill out. But now, me personally, as a Black person, I feel like it was tested out on Black folk, and it worked because Black people were very conservative back in the 60s, 50s, family oriented, going to church, morals. We did not promote abortion and weird things like that, like being gay. That was unheard of. Okay, even if it was happening, you didn't talk about it, right? That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But now you see him. You said the gnome ice spice. You know what I mean? Like, see? So there you go, right? So now, white people, what do you do about that? Like, I'm asking that question like that because I feel like there is a I don't want to say washing away of white people. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah,
well,
y'all
there's clearly
like so
there's a cultural slide, right? Like like you said, in the 50s and 60s, Black culture wasn't really what it is today. It was more so, it was in line with normal everyday, like you had a full family household, right? But they destroyed that purposely because but single motherhood made more money because the government was taking care of them. Then they introduced drugs into the system, right? So they created that behavior. And then from the ashes of that, a lot of our false idols that we praise today have risen from that, right? So now that is the cool thing. That is the new, I guess, environment that people looked like. That's the cool thing, right? To be a gangbanger, to be, like drugs and have multiple women and all that stuff, or be a hoe, whatever. That's what's taken over societal standards. So like you said, well, a lot of people want to be sheep. A lot of people want to just fit in. So if that's the cool thing, that's a societal standard, then that's why you say like the washing away or eroding of, I guess, white culture in a sense. Because that's a good point you bring up, because if you ever notice, every other country, like no one would ever bat an eye in saying like all of Japan is Japanese people. Like that's normal, right? But if you say like United States is primarily a white country, people lose their mind, right? Or if you talk about a white country, like say Sweden was normally always a white country, like, oh, you can't say that. You can't. Why? Why is it okay for other countries to have their own ethnicity, but one country that's white, that's all? No. That's the guy in the gray suit. You can't talk about that.
Yeah, like
very odd.
It is odd, and it's, to me, it's a problem because like I look at, okay, I hear what you're saying, Justin. Like you're focused right now. You're not getting involved with things that are just going to distract you. But at the same time, like I'm also looking though, like, yo, like the family though. Like I'm not putting this on you.
Yeah, I got time. I'll definitely have a family, but not right now. 10 years from now.
But there is a big number of I'm trying to find this. There's a particular thing that I'm looking for that's making me this was from last week. I'm almost there. And she was a white girl doing this, and I know how I sound like a white girl.
Yeah, there's a different. Yeah, the women, they have a biological clock, so they need to get moving.
Nah, but it's not even just. It's just these what they're promoting now. To me, doesn't. It's not. It just goes against anything natural. So all right, I just sent it. All right, so it's wait a minute. Ending.
Also on the Black culture stuff, not that I really want to call it out too much. I just like at this point I'm just like, I don't really give a shit. But you can't call it, like you can't say that Black culture is degenerate in any sort of way without getting attacked or canceled. I mean, and like I said, I don't have a super strong desire to do it anyway. I just don't want to deal with the headache, man. Like I don't give a shit. But the Ice Spice is rubbing her vagina on stage and stuff, and it's getting, it's getting praised. Like there's obviously.
I'm sorry. Yeah, go.
Yeah. No, there's obviously something degenerate about that, but you can't say it. Like you can't relate it to Black culture at all without getting canceled. But you don't really.
And that does nothing for Black people, because yes, it has to be related to that. Like what the mainstream and Matt, I put the thing. If you click it, you'll see the little the thing, what is it? The TikTok this girl made. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It is like, no, I'm gonna tell you for real. There is a robbing away of the country's morals that's happening.
Is it ye spitting? Is that what you're talking about?
Huh?
The one that says ye spitting?
It's the last one that I just
Okay.
if you just like hit it. I think it should bring it up. Yeah, there's a robbing away of the country's morals. Everything bad.
Oh, I've seen this.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's not just like the Ice Spice stuff. It's also like the videos that go viral of the dude just shooting out a window at houses as he's driving. It's like that's what goes viral nowadays,
Right. And then, so like, look at this. I'm gonna get back to what you said though, because I say it, and I think everybody should like this. Can't say it. Like, I mean,
I'm not saying it just because like I don't want to deal with the headaches. Like it's just, is it really worth it? Because I'm not gonna change anything by saying it, and I'm also gonna have to deal with a whole lot of shit if I say it. So
I understand. But yeah, look at this girl. So if you look in the thing, and I talked about this on this channel last week, but I was by myself. So doing cultural topics by yourself sometimes is not as fun. But the guy asked her to marry him, and every time she's putting the ring on, it's like, oh, I'm gonna have to clean something. And then you see, then she puts it down, like,
Yeah, and then this is the same woman who will bitch about having to drive into work at 9 a.m. Like, I wish I was a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah, it's funny. These women will say that they want traditional men, and then they don't want to do anything traditional themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It is insane. And what you were saying though about, so like I said, everything bad to me that's coming through in the country, whether it be crime or all this disgust, like rubbing her, like that. I didn't even know that happened.
That's her signature move, dude. People will do that in baseball now, like in in travel ball. They have like double celebrations. So like they'll hit a double and then they'll hit the Ice Spice. Like that's like a thing that they do now.
Imagine being known. That's what you're known for. Either A, looking like a mutated potato, and then B, rubbing your private area. Like that is something to be proud of. I will tell you.
Like,
She's gonna have a legacy that's gonna go far.
And it's the Black folk. And the thing is, like, I know where it comes from, but at some point, Black folk need to stop this and stop like allowing money to make you do things, because believe me, Black folk are not in charge of anything, which is really disgusting. And it says a lot, because to be in a country for so long and you don't even have a lobby that can actually make something good happen, whatever. Your whole narrative, your whole culture has been now given to you by another culture, whatever. And then it's constantly like, oh, this law is racist. Let's show a Black person doing it and say it's racist to arrest somebody for shooting outside their windows. Like it's disgusting. But that's why I tell people, whatever this Black is today, that's not me.
It's just like we treat Black people like they're babies, like they're children. Like I think it was Georgia that said showing your ID to vote was racist.
Yeah,
because Black people aren't capable of getting IDs.
Yeah, like those people can't get on the internet,
and so
and they don't even. It's like I would be so insulted by the people saying this to me.
I was
like, what? This is what you think of me?
Yeah, and here's the thing, I'm so blessed to have the family that I have and my really close friends, because we all were like, what, But there's really people out here who defended this. So I went on Facebook. I'm like, this is insane. This is racist. Do you guys see what they're saying? They're saying that you're not smart enough to get a license. Like, that's what they're saying. But you want to know who was fighting me about this? Black women. Women are the worst. Black women are double times the worst. Yes, they are.
So I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something a little spicy here. But there's a shocker, right? There's a lot, not all, obviously, but there's a lot of people that will always want to have the victim card in their pocket. Once that victim card pocket is gone, then they become responsible for their own downfalls of life. If they always have that crutch to lean on, if they always have that, well, this is the system's against me and this, that, and the other, or whatever the case, they come up with like the whole voting thing. Then it's always an excuse as to, I didn't get to do this and I didn't accomplish this, but it's because of X. It's not because of, hey, maybe I'm just a fucking lazy person. It's because of this. You know what I mean?
And
that's not just one race, by the way. That's people do that.
Oh, hell no.
All across the board with everything.
Yeah, but it is but the black race is leading the cause on that. I will say that, they march the cause on that constantly lately. Of course, provide your own not alls, but
I would kind of disagree with that, to be honest. I think a lot of white women do that too, where they just blame like mental illnesses and take
that's what
pills,
I mean.
and it gets even worse. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like it's across the board. I'm just saying that when Casey was saying that there's black women who are arguing that with her, well, yeah, those are the people, right? They're lazy individuals and they want to blame their life's problems on something. Now, that's not just confined to black women or black men. That's literally a very spreading thing throughout everybody. Is everyone blames
mostly
everything?
Blacks and whites, though. I would say I don't think many Mexicans are complaining like that. Not too many Asian.
Oh, they're
people.
just happy to be here.
Well, I'm gonna,
they don't give a shit. They're like,
God bless them too, and they are happy to be here. You know what? You know what I mean? And they got skills, and I see a lot of them now. They own their contracting companies now. They're not playing.
Yeah, we need those. Who's going to clean the bathrooms,
No, they're showing up crack of dawn, getting that roof ready, fucking throwing up them shingles.
No, they got a whole nother work ethic. But
yeah,
you're right. The reason why I call out the black race so much in it is because everything is now racism, to the point where I don't listen to stories about racism where there is still discrimination out here. I mean, come on, you're never going to eradicate that, right? But when you call everything racist to the point, man, that voting thing, when people they saying I can't bring water to the voting, that's how they sounded. And I was like, you can bring water, you just can't have it say vote for Casey on the water. And y'all do that stuff anyway, because I see how it is around here. They always pass me the Democrat paperwork, like, you don't need to worry about it, here you go. I'm like, I don't want that. Okay, like that's against the law too, by the way. Anyway, so, but all of that to say, I was really going back and forth with these people. I'm like, are you insane? Do you hear what you're saying? And they're like, yeah, because the system is against us. And I was like, and it turned into me saying, like, do you know that you're effectively saying that as soon as a black child is born, you might as well tell them they're doomed because they're not going to be able to do anything because the system is always against them? This is crazy. I didn't know, because, I used to do that whole like, hey, it's racist. I didn't know that it was to that extent. I was like, whoa, I don't want to sound anything that's close to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when they wanted to change the voting laws just so they can get illegals and felons and everybody else to vote who was marching the cause, they trying to stop my vote. I'm like, black people, y'all ain't even care that hard about voting. Like, why? So that's why for me, I always say black folk or riggers, like
oh Jesus. Oh my God.
I don't care. This is my word now. I don't care. So anyway, those kind of black folk. Yes. Because I've been like advocating, like we need to use another word for those kind, because that's not everybody. You know what I mean? But anyway, when I see them act like this, I'm like, stop. So it gets on my nerves. You know what I mean? So that's why.
The only way to convince these people to stop being a victim, it's so simple. You just remind them one day they're going to die. And one day you're going to be stuck in I always do this to myself, call it the rocking chair test. And one day, all you're going to be able to do is just sit in a rocking chair and reminisce on what happened in your life and what you did, what you accomplished, and things like that. Imagine if you're in a rocking chair at the end of your life and all you can think about is the times that you blamed racism for why you can't succeed in life. Oh yeah, you remember that one time, I was going to do something, but they were racist, so I didn't try.
Right.
That's what you're going to think of whenever you're old in your rocking chair.
But there are some people, man, you're talking from the perspective of somebody with drive. Now you're talking about somebody who has zero. So there's a lot of, and that's not race driven. There's a lot of people out there that are very content with being fucking losers. and that's all they're going to be. And they
Well,
never
they
want to
need
strive
sit in
hard.
the house and stay out of society. I'm
Yep.
sorry.
There's a lot of
Don't vote
there's a
and
lot
don't
of
do
people that will just everything is someone else's fault. It's everything. I didn't get that job. I didn't do this. This didn't happen for. It's always someone else. It's never like maybe you're the fuck up. Maybe it's your problem. But they won't do that, because then if they take accountability for it, then they can't blame anybody else, and then they have to face reality. So you're talking from your perspective, because that would scare you to death, because you have drive and you want to be successful. A lot of people are listen, there are people out there that literally choose to be homeless, that say, I don't want to be in society. I don't like this. I don't want to do the 9 to 5. I don't care. I don't want nice things. I'm just content doing nothing. And they do that. So what do you do with those people?
I mean, and because they're getting,
they sell you oranges on the end of at the end of the interstate, you know?
Yeah. And they're getting incentivized to do that. And that's the problem. We've incentivized too much. We've incentivized so much of this type of behavior to out of, I don't know, some sort of socialism of giving out money. And yeah, you're right. They're like out there like, yo, I'm gonna get my check, I'm gonna get high, and that's it. But when we end the checks, I'm like,
but that's part of the plan. That's part of the plan. If we give them free cell phones and we give them free stuff, then they don't want to work for themselves. They're not going to own anything, and then we can control their ass.
And see how
people like you, Casey, that you are, and Justin, working for your dollar, that you don't want to be dependent on the government. They then work for you. See, that's the thing. If we need them, then they can do whatever they want. But if I don't need you, then you're just in my goddamn way. That's essentially what it is. And so they hate people like us because that we can't be controlled.
You ain't lying about that.
I hope more people want to be homeless and want to be reliant on the government, because, more for me. Makes it easier. My path is easier now.
Yeah, but they get in the way, Justin. Like they do, because like they're not staying in the house. Like
yeah, you got to step over them when you're getting on the train.
Like, you know what I mean? Or there's some law, or now they can steal stuff because they're homeless. That's the thing. They change the laws for them. Well, it's not their fault. They're homeless, so they can steal about $500 worth of merchandise. They're in the way. No,
it's like, hey, can you at least shit in the alley and not literally in the middle of the sidewalk?
I get it, right? It's more for the taking to like build things and do things, but no, man. Like loitering used to be a crime. It was, and I know how I sound. There is somebody out there like, damn, you try and put everybody in jail. It is not that. It's not that. But I have seen footage. I've seen it with my own eyes. People are leaning on the floor, and there's kids who have to step over that to go to school. Who am I supposed to care about more, right? I need to get that out the way. So now we got to involuntary commit you somewhere.
Well, see, back in the day, remember, back in the day, Casey, there used to be community policing, where you had communities that everyone, like, I remember growing up in my neighborhood, everyone on the block knew each other. Everyone got along, everyone, and everyone looked out for each other. Everyone looked out for their vehicles. Everyone looked out for their houses and stuff. Hey, there was someone by your house, what? There was community policing. If there was a bum on the street or something that someone didn't belong there, the men on the block said, hey, you don't belong here. Go, keep on walking, move. Now it's not like that anymore. You have rent-controlled places by landlords. No one knows each other. No one talks to each other. Community's gone. Police are not allowed to do anything because, well, they can't. Their DAs don't want them doing anything. And this is the breakdown of society. This is what it turns into. Some dystopian nightmare.
I think that's why there's an exodus from big cities into rural areas, country areas. And I think there's going to be, in like 20, 30 years, there might be like a little golden age because those areas outside of big cities are going to turn into cities at some point, because there's going to be so many people moving in those areas. Like I see that happen a lot of where I am. Like places that used to be super country are now being, they're pretty packed now. And I think there's going to be a time period of maybe like 5 years where those cities are just packed with actual good people, people who have values, traditional values. And then all those are going to go downhill like the big cities are now.
Well, and this is a great segue, because as we've been talking, I've been looking up this fire stuff, and I'm finding more and more videos. So this is Montana right now, right? So everyone wants to move out to the country. Everyone wants to move out of big cities. Yeah, you can if we burn the fucking thing to the ground.
See, that's the problem. And I know it's like, well, we've always had wildfires. But the fact that I know that they're, quote, trying to conserve however many % of land to save for.
That's British Columbia.
What is this?
This is Canada. This is probably where your friend's at, Justin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's literally that is in his backyard, like that little body of water.
Area. Yeah. So Canada is looking like Maui. So this is I just found this on Twitter. And then apparently this was from a couple hours ago. This one, there's another fire in, what is that? Aloha? I don't know how you announce that.
Yeah.
OAHU. Hawaii. Some island over there.
And then it's always
always a line, perfect line.
You see what I'm saying? The fire knows where to stop. Just like COVID knew to not get you if you were outside with your drink or some shit like that. Like, man, y'all get on my nerves, man. Like,
and there was one, I can't think of where it was at. They were showing a map of Brazil of all the here's another one. Many lakefront properties have been burned with property owners fleeing the water. Oh, wait, sorry. I didn't show that. I was like, wait, my bad.
Where is this at?
This is same British Columbia again, where Justin's picture was earlier. But look at this. How does this?
I gotta holler at my friend.
Everyone just wants to sit there and say, "Oh yeah, this is just global warming. This magically happened." If anything, they're saying the Earth's cooled off anyway. But I don't even want to get into that comment. But
these people are This is, first of all, nothing combusts into fire like that. You know what I mean? Like, they try to make it seem like the tree was sitting in and just boom, fire came because it was so hot.
Well, surprisingly, here, let me show this.
You're going to show me something
combusting? I'm going to show you something combusting, which is pretty funny. Caught in the act, an early morning DEW attack in British Columbia. A gigantic and fast billowing plume is the unmistakable imprint of a powerful but unseen beam/laser igniting the 100 square kilometer Crater Creek wildfire. So this is, the top is a little after midnight, 6 minutes. You can see the plume here.
Uh-huh.
And then you have 31 minutes here. And then this is now 1 o'clock in the morning. And it just starts out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's not, but that fire doesn't just start out of nowhere. Somebody had to ignite it in some fashion.
And why? Yeah. And so wait, think about this. This is midnight, right? 0006. So you're not dealing with like 110-degree weather at midnight ever. So what?
But there's still no, like, somebody has to spark a rock. Something has to happen, or else if the trees were just combusting into fire, then we would too. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. This is, man.
That's British Columbia again.
Wow.
It's crazy.
And it's funny because my air quality isn't bad though. So what was
yet.
that?
Not yet. It will eventually. Because I remember a couple weeks ago, it was like, you can't go outside because it's like a whole bunch of, was it carbon dioxide or whatever it was in the air? It was like hazardous material.
Canada.
Mm-hmm.
You see, there's the thing that was like a couple months ago or last month or whatever. And it's the Canadian fires. I'm like, bro, I live in Philly, man. How's this? I don't, it's, man, I don't know. I know, but I don't know. I know, right? I know, and I don't get freaked out too much because all of this is prophesied, okay? And that's a fact. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it just makes me mad. That's what it does. It makes me mad. I don't like being told to do something that I don't want to do or forced to do things, And here's another thing. And this is for next week's stream, because I know we're going to be wrapping it up. The masks, they're trying to do a little comeback on them drones. And I can tell you from a medical standpoint, in certain facilities, I have people walking up to me trying to hand me a mask where I'm looking at the nursing home administrator like, we're doing this again. What are we doing? What are we doing? So the point is, I don't like being told to do. I don't care what your agenda is. I know it's prophesied a lot. Not masks are not prophesied, right? But I know a lot of things are prophesied, but it still pisses me off. And we are still supposed to fight.
When someone hands you that, just say, oh, no, I'm not retarded. Thank you.
That's what I looked at her like that. I'm like, what are you?
No, I'm not mentally ill. I do.
I was like, what are we doing? We're doing this again? And she was like, yeah, we're doing this. I didn't put it on. can't work in this facility. I don't know what to do. I'm not ready for it. By the way, as a nurse, all right, that it's a lot because I instantly get infuriated at the discussion of trying to implement this stuff. Okay,
and
you just
you
see
know
my
it's going
face
to come
like,
back. Election seasons. Listen, they got to do something. They have to keep the voting at home. Remember. So they're going to have to keep us in our houses somehow, either by toxic fires outside or space aliens coming down and something's going to happen. It's always going to it's always been something. It's always going to be something.
Jesus is going to come back with I know. Oh man.
It's wild. But yeah, well, how long have we been going? Oh, 2 hours. Damn, all right. Not bad, not bad. Casey, what do you got going on your channel?
So I like I said, I was telling Justin, this Andrew Tate video is it's like blowing up. It should be at 3,000 views right now. With some of the skills that you helped me implement, it was pretty cool. And the content, although some people are mad at me about the content, my take on it is, I guess, controversial because I don't sound like a regular conservative. I'm not Jesus. I'm not here to judge people. That's a whole nother conversation, I guess. But I don't believe all women. That really is.
Oh, that's not a good sign for the women. You got to believe them all. Even the men dressed up as them, you got to believe in them too.
I think I believe like 2%. And not all the time. But yeah, so on the channel, I'm trying to think Sunday. I think I want to do like a stream, like a Judy Garland type stream. And that might sound like a little different, but Judy Garland was trending on Twitter.
I saw that. About her apparently passed as blackface?
Because she did a thing as blackface.
Robert Downey Jr. did it like 5 years ago. It was hilarious.
And she did it, in 1920 when none of us even thought about.
She was like 16.
She should have disavowed it.
Yeah, she was like, come on. It's what do you
want her to come back from the dead and leave her alone? So I was thinking about doing like a stream where, like, to talk about Judy Garland. I love Judy Garland. I love Wizard of Oz. I love her voice. I love that old Hollywood stuff, So I think I might do that on Sunday. But I'm putting out more episodes, just trying to talk about everything. There's just so much. There's so much to cover, but there's so much going on, and but
it is hard to narrow, like, what topics do I want to cover? What do I think is going to be the most wanted? Yeah, trust me, I deal with that all the time. I'm like, what should I do? Because my brain's Because
I covered the foot soldiers of the Democrats, the name that start with A. That video I only did it was so slow to move. I'm like, I already know, because I used the name in the title, and so I was like, I think they're not showing that one. But it's stuff to talk about, and also the dollar collapsing. I covered that on I covered these very important things.
I watched that video.
Thank you.
That was a good video. Hey, it's crazy stuff.
Yeah, and we're just covering everything on the channel. And like I said, with this channel, it's about coming together and figuring out what we're gonna. 2024 is gonna be hot. All of our channels, it's gonna be real. 2024. I think that's what Twitter's getting ready for too. For like the serious, there's gonna be a mass. I believe wipeout.
I agree, and I think we should probably start working on, when we do these streams, on Rumble as well. I know we've done it a couple times. I have no clue how to do that. You're lucky I even knew how to get this shit set up, guys. So,
and everything will get figured out. Of course, this is the summer season. Of course, we're doing other stuff, and we're trying to. Everything is coming correct. At least we know what we have to do to be prepared. But they're not playing with us in 2024. They're not.
Justin, what do you got going on that you want to promote? I know you're a busy man.
Yeah, I don't really know. If you want, you can go subscribe to my Justin Reloaded channel. I'm sure I'll be posting there at some point. I kind of had an itch to post there today, but I was just so busy. For one, I can't keep up with the news, and for two, to sit down, make a video, make a thumbnail, all of that stuff. So it's just too time consuming for me right now. So I'm sure I'll be back at some point over there. But as of right now, I'm just working on my coaching business, where I'll coach YouTubers on how to grow. So yeah, if y'all want to get in on that, you can.
Yeah, what's the best way for anyone out here where they're listening now, or if they are listening in the like replay, to reach you to do that? Are you doing that through like Gmail? Is that through here,
No.
Instagram?
Yeah, all Instagram. You could DM me at JSTN does YouTube on Instagram.
Well, what we'll do after is we'll put that info in the description. So it's not there now, but we'll put that in there. That way, if you guys, someone's interested in it, like I said, Justin's got a proven plan. Hell, I mean, that second channel, how long have you were doing this? The Justin Reloaded one?
It's at 10K. It just hit 10K today, and it's been 3 weeks, and I haven't even posted on it in a week. And it hit
3 weeks
10K
and
today.
10K, and I've been doing this for like 2 years, and I'm stuck at where I'm at. So Justin clearly knows what to do.
Be quiet, man. I've been doing this for almost 2 years, and I'm still at one point, which I'm very happy to be at.
Exactly.
He knows what he's doing.
I'm grateful for where I'm at, and and that's the thing, right? So learning and just trying to keep doing better,
but the formula is something that you have, Justin, and then your content is good because a week you had like 7,000 subscribers, so that's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time too. It's not like I just popped up and all of a sudden knew how to do this stuff. Like you guys have been doing YouTube for 3 years. I've been doing YouTube since I was like 12 in 6th grade. You know.
I know. I'm just saying you cracked the code though. Like
yeah. It's taken a lot of failure over and over again, and I think I have something now. But
I tell people all the time. A lot of people they don't like lose. Like failure is literally the best lesson in life. You learn the most, I think, from losing and failing than sometimes winning. So, and it sets you up for the next win later on down the road. So,
yeah.
From my end, I put 2 videos out today. I was actually had a third one. I was like, I'll save it for tomorrow. I'm going to make a couple more tomorrow. I'm trying to be more consistent and put out more stuff. God damn, sometimes though, it's just it's a lot. It's like, but I'm working on it, trying to stay more consistent. Next week I'll be going to see my brother, so I won't be in town. I'm still going to have planned content for the week. I'm still doing my Tuesday night stream. Take Me Back Tuesdays. That was fun. Casey, I'm glad you enjoyed that.
Oh my God. Everything that you were putting on there. I was like, oh my God, yes.
I love, that's the great part. It's a good escape from this stuff, right? Because it's fun to talk about this, and I think it's relevant, but then sometimes I need to pull the parachute and get the hell out of here for a little bit and go back to a better day in the 90s when Justin wasn't even here. And no, he was around, but us
really,
older folks,
just for a second.
Yeah, it's like you were just crawling around, and me and Casey were being hoodlums in the street,
straight up
running around.
You remember you said what you used to do the
DX, yeah. The sucking
I was
Generation
hollering
X.
at that story. You was like, my dad was like, you don't stoop to their level. You're gonna do the right thing. You're like,
I was like, all right, Dad, yep, no problem. And then as soon as that game was over, I was like, yeah, suck your heads. I mean, it was my dad was just like, oh my God. And I mean, it almost caused like
back there though. He probably was like,
it almost caused like a riot at that game because all those kids were so pissed off anyway. It was a good time, good memories, but so I would do that stream and then just normal stuff. So thank you. I mean, is anyone else, you guys have anything else you want to wrap up with, or?
I'm good.
I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. I think it was a very fun stream.
Very fun.
Flaccid, we got Vader Fanatic. What's up, Cindy? GR, all of you that support us, we greatly appreciate it. If you're still new here and listening, check out our individual channels. Those are in the description. You could subscribe to our content, check it out. And we hope to be seeing you very, very soon. So everyone have a good night. Have a great weekend. And we'll catch you guys next week.
Bye.
See you guys.
Later.
See you guys.